It is 10:02. Good morning from the 104.5 The Zone Studios. I'm Lucas Panzica. The Stanley Cup final got underway on Wednesday, and the Oilers came back from down 3-1 to force overtime. Leon Draisaitl scoring the game winner on a power play goal in the final minute of the extra period, beating the Panthers 4-3. Former Preds Victor Arvidsson and Matthias Ekholm each had a goal for Edmonton, who takes a 1-0 series lead. In NFL news, the Baltimore Ravens have signed wide receiver Rashad Bateman to a 3-year, $36.75 million contract extension that includes $20 million in guaranteed money for the former first-round pick. NBA Finals get underway tonight in Oklahoma City. Game 1 between Thunder and Pacers. Both teams look to win their first ever NBA championship. Tip-off at 7:30. Also in Oklahoma City, it's Game 2 of the Women's College World Series. Tonight at 7, Texas took Game 1 Wednesday with the dramatic 2-1 victory over Texas Tech. For all your foundation repairs and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Good morning. Welcome into 104.5 The Zone. We're happy to have you for the next 3 hours. It's the boys and me, Lucas, Robert, until 1 o'clock. 615-737-1045 is the number. If you want to jump in at any point, we would be happy to have you. No guests, just straight ball all the way through. And we've got a lot of things to talk about. There's Derrick Henry news. There's some Titan stuff. We got a little bit of Greg Cosell analysis to sprinkle in over the top of it. The thing I want to spend the least amount of time on is how Cam Ward likes his eggs. If we can avoid all of those things this morning, that would be greatly appreciated.
You're just so out of touch with your audience.
I don't care. I'm completely fine with that. I have no issues whatsoever being unrelatable. If you didn't figure that out by now, I don't know what we've been doing for the last 5 years. But four, whatever. It feels like 5. F&M Bank Chat, like I said, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch for you to live stream the program if you would like. We will start in an unrelated sports place, though, because this is something that affects all of us locally in the state of Tennessee. It is something that is an annual occurrence. You cannot run, you cannot hide from CMA Fest. It is officially upon our shores, and Lucas was its latest victim this morning.
Nightmare.
Why? So you want to talk about out of touch? You complaining about a thing that brings so many people around the country joy and delight because it inconveniences your 5-minute commute to work is so out of touch.
I'm not alone on this, okay? I don't care about what people in Poughkeepsie, Wisconsin want to watch or see when they come down to Nashville for CMA Fest. I care about the people of Nashville, and I think the people of Nashville scatter when CMA Fest comes to town, and I forgot to do that this morning. I drove right through the heart of downtown, right over the Korean Vets Bridge, and it was a dastardly mistake that took me 35, 40 damn minutes to get into the station. Every damn year I forget CMA Fest is coming around, and every year I pay for it on the Thursday of CMA Fest.
Right, it is the first night of, it's the first official nights of of stadium concerts that are going on, but obviously the city has been overtaken well in advance of tonight's events. I don't even know who's playing. It's been so long since I've actually attended CMA Fest in the stadium. I'll go to stuff. In fact, are we going to this thing tonight?
I guess.
At our buddy Josh Griffin's place, Lola's.
Lucas talked himself into it. He was like, I don't even like EDM. I don't even know anything about this. And then we looked up her set list, and he was like, oh, I love this song. Oh, wait. I love this. And he just, in disparity, no! No!
Yeah, I'll be there.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, well, especially because these... it was a really great setup over at Lola's yesterday. Our buddy Josh Griffin invited us over there. It's a great spot if you haven't been.
Incredible bathrooms. It was immaculate. It was the nicest bathroom I've ever been in my life.
Right, so we're workshopping different things for Robert to do because his zoo video took off in such spectacular ways that he's trying to devise his next media venture. He tried to sell me on a podcast that involved a wheel, again, for reasons that are beyond me. I said, that sounds entirely too complicated. If you want to host a podcast called Smoke Break, why don't you just take people out on the patio with you while you smoke your cigarettes and then ask them a couple of questions on social media without all the pomp and circumstance? Like, who do you think you are now?
Yeah, but there's no cameras and lights out there. No one's going to see my good side.
Yeah? You got one?
Usually from behind.
Do you have that wheel back there?
No, I don't. You know how many texts I got about Wheel Wednesday? V-Love texted me this morning. He goes, I'm behind
It's
on the
what
show.
the people want.
Why is always what the people want the exact opposite of what I want? Why can those things not just find some level of
You
alignment?
may have to look inward on that
Yeah, I
one.
think that's something about you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's okay. I'm going to fight that fight until the end of time, until they drag my ass off the air, which is probably sooner than I think. Is the wheel back there? Is the wheel ready?
Ooh, what do we talk about now?
Ooh, come on.
What do we talk about next? Stanley Cup final, game one it is. The
Love
wheel
that.
has spoken.
What?
Did you watch this game last night?
No.
It was incredible.
Electric.
You watched hockey?
No.
An electric factory. Robert won't even put it in his damn update. I don't
Why?
know what he has against the sport of hockey.
You, I feel like, would be a hockey fan for as drunk as you get at sporting events. That's your
Sure,
people.
but it's like hockey doesn't like me. Anytime I try to get into it, anytime I try to go to a game, it's always the worst game imaginable. Like, and the Predators lose 1-0.
Well, they were terrible this year.
Oh, well, what do you want from me? I'm trying to learn.
This game had two former Predators, so a nice little reminder of good times of the past as both Victor Arvidsson and Matthias Ekholm got on the score sheet, and Edmonton scores 66 seconds into this game. Leon Draisaitl puts them in front. Panthers surge back, take a 3-1 lead. Edmonton comes all the way back to force overtime, 3-3. Last minute of overtime, the Oilers on a power play on an unnecessary delay of game penalty by Florida, and Leon Draisaitl scores with 30 seconds left in the extra period to take game one in Edmonton, and that place was an electric factory. That place was buzzing. Leon Draisaitl scores his third overtime goal of these Stanley Cup playoffs. That ties an NHL record, and game two coming up in 2 days. You know what I love about hockey? They churn and burn these games, man. 1 day break. NBA's like, no, we need 3, 4, 5, 6 days between games in the NBA finals. Hockey is going, man. They're going to get back at it tomorrow.
I am with you to an extent, but like, what faint memories I have of 8 years ago, the Nashville Predators being in the Stanley Cup final, was that we were drunk in the streets for 2 months because the hockey playoffs are so long. Like it's not exactly an expedited process. You just mean Stanley Cup games in general, because you know that the Pacers had. I mean, it's nothing that knocked the finals schedule in the NBA off kilter, but like the Pacers had to redivert their plane because of tornadoes in Oklahoma. Like
I did hear about that.
It's not exactly been the most logistically easy thing to get off the ground there. But I mean, there's a great many things that I love about hockey. I love that it's a rematch, frankly. And some people get fatigue when it's the same kind of teams competing. And as long as it's, I don't need another 20 years of the New England Patriots or Alabama football or anything like that running the table year in and year out, even though, I mean, how many titles did Saban win at the height of Alabama? Like, because it's probably not as many as I think it is in my head, just because I just assume Alabama's competing. Saban has how many? 5?
more than that, man. It's more than that. It's 7-6 in Alabama.
When is your birthday, honey? I thought it was next week.
I'm so bad about that. I mean, we were running those Mother's Day ads, and I had that bleep moment. I haven't done anything yet.
Oh, have we missed it?
That's not funny. Be nice to your mother.
Hey, Dad's Week coming up next week. 104.5 The Zone will have chances to win tickets for Dad all week next week. So check out 1045thezone.com for details. But yeah, I love that. Saban definitely did. I have in my mind that he won 5 national championships. There's no way it's that high. Yeah, he won 7. 6 at one place.
Yeah. Sounds about right. Again, we have a shadow today. Kate has come into the studio, and we told her this is how not to do radio.
Yes.
You've learned from professional broadcasters all week long. I promise you that's not going to be your experience throughout the course of today. We are going to talk about a variety of different things, and what we are going to dive into next is defining success for rookie quarterbacks. I know all of you are hot and bothered out there about the idea that your quarterback's waking up at 5 a.m. to go to work, like the thing that he's exactly supposed to do, the thing that probably most professional quarterbacks...
Not waking up at 5 a.m., no.
Oh, getting to
Arriving at 5 a.m.
Okay, I know that sounds
right.
like a foreign concept to the two of you, but there's a great many people in the world that wake up before 5 a.m. to go to work at 5
Says the man that would catch a red light and be late.
Well, sure, but I'm up at 5 a.m. I just don't get here until
Yeah,
I
you say that, but there's no proof of that.
There is. 615-737-1045 is how you jump in. How would you define success for Cam Ward in year one? We'll give you our opinion on that. I'm Buck Rising. It's 104.5 The Zone. We're very excited to have Premier Generators on as one of the new show partners, and they're now in Nashville, the largest certified Generac dealer in Tennessee. When power outages strike, protect your family with a top-tier generator expertly installed by local specialists. Premier Generators dedicates itself solely to generators, offering unmatched expertise. Plus, you can enjoy the peace of mind with an extended 10-year warranty. Don't wait for the next storm. Schedule your consultation today. I wish I would have thought ahead in advance in 2020 when the tornado came through my neighborhood, my neck of the woods in North Nashville, Germantown. I know so many people in Middle Tennessee were affected by that, and so many people lost power. In my neighborhood, we were without power for 6 days, which is absolute insanity, which made me want to consider my options, and that's why I went to premiergenerators.com. You can call them 615-439-2992. Be prepared and choose Premier Generators for reliable power solutions. Murfreesboro golfers, it's time to say goodbye to pain and hello to a better game with Borough Chiropractic's revolutionary stem wave therapy. This is something that I wanted to check out because I've been having issues with my shoulder. It's a non-invasive, cutting-edge treatment designed to help golfers get back on the course pain-free. This advanced therapy uses sound waves to target and repair damaged tissue, providing natural, long-lasting relief. At Borough Chiropractic, their expert team is dedicated to offering personalized care that caters to each individual's unique needs. Stem wave therapy is perfect for treating chronic pain, inflammation, and even old injuries. Plus, Borough Chiropractic is proud to be the official chiropractic provider for Middle Tennessee football, ensuring their athletes stay in peak condition. Golfers can experience the benefits of stem wave therapy by visiting Borough Chiropractic today. Call them at 615-410-7643 or check out their website at boroughchirotn.com. Welcome back to the show, fueled by Hattie B's Hot Chicken. Dolly knows. Get you on fire. Get you some Hattie B's Hot Chicken. If you're thinking about lunch, there's no place better. You can mobile order it to your office. You can get it at home. If you're a work-from-home type of person, you can check out any one of their Middle Tennessee locations. Or for those of you who listen to us out of the Nashville market, they're in Austin, Birmingham, Dallas, Atlanta, and Las Vegas. Hattie B's Hot Chicken, the best hot chicken in the world. How would you define success for a rookie quarterback? This is an interesting question because it depends on who you're asking, right? Who is the most important person in the decision-making process for the local professional football team? Can anybody in the class tell me? You with the big head.
Oh, me? I mean, Chad Brinker.
Yeah, this might be. No, Lucas, the answer is the person that owns the football team. That's Amy Adams-Strunk. Amy seems to be very locked in on wins and losses. She has fired people for the record that the football team has produced or not been able to produce the last two times around. Ran Carthon, when she put out a statement, because of course she doesn't speak publicly, because why would she? Said that they didn't feel like they were achieving the way that they needed to achieve, and the record was unsatisfactory when she fired Mike Vrabel a couple of years ago. She cited the fact that it was not good enough to just win more games than you lose, though wouldn't it be nice to win more games than you lose these days, given how bad that football team has been in the past three and a half years at this point in time. Cam Ward coming in here with a coach that finished 3-14 last year, with a new general manager, a new front office structure with Chad Brinker as the football czar who has final roster control. How are we defining success for the Titans in 2025? Because I'm sure her answer would be different than the audience's answer, would be different than your answer, would be different than my answer.
It's so hard because how do you have this conversation without, getting in the neighborhood of talking about counting stats, right? And that's not, to me, that's such a tough way to have this conversation. Like, the success for a rookie quarterback is a minimum of 3,500 yards and 20 touchdowns, right? But the context is so much more important. Like, was 2024, Buck, a successful season for Bryce Young? In totality.
In totality, yes, because you saw signs of life. Even though he got benched at the start of the season, you had a situation where it ended up benefiting him. The football team got better around him. They reinserted him back into a better situation. And maybe he didn't thrive, right? Because their record still indicates that they were one of the worst teams in professional football. But you looked at Bryce Young and you came away saying, okay, that looks more like a number 1 overall draft pick is supposed to look, even if he's a bit diminutive compared to, your prototypical 6'3", 6'4" quarterback that can, rocket launch it down the field. What Will Levis looks like but doesn't play like, right?
And now they're excited about their young quarterback in Carolina. Imagine telling a Panthers fan the day after Bryce Young was drafted with the number 1 overall pick, hey, I've got a time machine, year 2 of Bryce Young for the Panthers, 15 touchdowns, 9 picks. They'd lose their minds. They'd say bust, right? Terrible. I guess we're looking for a quarterback going into 2025. So success is defined in a million different ways. This is a very tricky question because people are going to throw counting stats at us. People are going to say offensive rookie of the year race means success for Cam Ward in 2025.
And he's not favored in that, by the way. Ashton Genty is.
Is Genty? Yeah, I guess Genty was from the beginning, right, Robert? We were having that discussion a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really Genty, Ward, and Shuck. I guess Travis Hunter has to be a part of that discussion. Like
Travis Hunter absolutely has to be.
It's not as not as much of a QB heavy rookie class. So Cam Ward's going to have every opportunity to be in that race, being the only quarterback selected in the top 10, top 20. But for me, success for Cam Ward as a rookie is we go into the offseason saying, okay, I think they've got a quarterback. Like that.
Yeah, but we did that.
We
did that after Will Levis's rookie season.
Yeah,
like
that's true.
We came away from that, and it was just the Atlanta game. Really, because Pittsburgh, he wasn't bad, but he struggled. And then the rest of the starts the way through, he struggled. And they were a bad football team, so you said, okay, maybe they get a little better around him. Maybe this quarterback, because he looked like he belonged at the NFL level. There was no major malfunctions. There was no, mind-melting, moronic moments that he was causing on the field the way that he did in his first 2 starts as the full-time starter this year, and then came into a press conference with us after the fact and was talking about, well, I just need to figure out how to rewire my brain, and that set the tone for the rest of the season because God knows. And it sounds like being gratuitous or mean to him, but he did not perform, and they spent $228 million around him to get him as much support as humanly possible, and maybe it was ill-fated, and maybe it was a bad way to construct a roster. I think they've talked many times over since they fired Rand Carthon and hired Mike Borgonzi that their plan is to just be more disciplined throughout the entire process of this rather than throwing a bunch of pieces and parts together and hoping that it becomes a football team.
All right, so what's the middle ground then between you want to just finish the season thinking you have a quarterback and throwing counting stats out there?
They need to be, I think, at minimum a 6-win football team. Cam Ward needs to do things. I want Cam Ward to look like a conventional quarterback more than I want to see him survive off what he does best, which is improvise. I want to see legitimate development at the quarterback position, and I understand that I am no quarterback expert, but I talk to these assistant coaches enough to be able to discern, okay, are the footwork drills that you're doing with him working? Is he establishing a proper base? Is that leading to greater consistency in his accuracy and his ball placement? Or is the offense, I don't think it has to be top half of the league or anything like that, but does the offense have a pulse? Like, are you getting just absolutely walloped in these games like you were a year ago when you lost 7 games by 10-plus points? Or are you capable of keeping in these games? Are you capable of reducing the number of blowouts that you had and getting in more one-score games? Are you capable of keeping it close? Is Cam keeping you close in these games? Is he showing you that proper development? The counting stats are the counting stats, right? Who do you know who happens to be the most or the rookie single-season passing yard leader? Do you know this? Either of you, off the top of your head?
Is it Burrow or did somebody else break it?
No, it's Luck.
Okay.
Luck. Do you want to guess how many?
I couldn't be Burrow. He got hurt his rookie year.
Herbert's up there, though. So if you'd have gone Herbert, you'd have been Herbert's 2. But do you want to guess how many passing yards Andrew Luck had in his rookie season in 2012 for the Colts?
How many?
4,374. That would break the Titans-era franchise passing record. So for those of you who are saying Cam Ward needs to break the rookie passing record or something like that, the unrealistic among us.
That's the most extreme thing to put out there.
They exist. They exist. It's like anything. There's fringe lunatics everywhere, and certainly in football. So Andrew Luck with the rookie passing record of 4,374. Do you know how many different quarterbacks have passed for over? Who do you think is the most inconsequential quarterback that you could name who's passed for at least 3,200 yards in their rookie season as a full-time rookie starter? Throw a name out there. Let's play some. Spin the wheel. Spin the wheel and let's pick a quarterback, name a name, and I'll tell you what they pass for.
What kind of prompt is that?
We're improvising. I didn't show up.
I think we could go. Who wants to go band for band on this? I think I could go as long as y'all want to go.
Inconsequential quarterback.
I'll go Andy Dalton first.
Oh, I was going to say like Jimmy Clausen.
Andy Dalton is 19th as far as rookie quarterbacks who started enough games to be considered, started at least 15 games in their rookie season. 3,398 passing yards.
Let's go. All right, Lucas's turn.
For Andy Dalton. Spin the wheel.
Yeah.
We're going to abuse this sound so much.
Spin the wheel. Spin the wheel.
I'm panicking. EJ Manuel.
What? What? You could have named
EJ Manuel? I mean, I guess I did say inconsequential.
You said inconsequential quarterbacks. Andy Dalton's not that inconsequential.
Pick another one. He's not top 25.
Yeah, come on. I'll spin the wheel again.
I don't know how you frame inconsequential.
Are you picking or am I picking? This is my wheel or your wheel?
Yeah, this wheel's for Buck.
All right. Gardner Minshew. Take a guess.
He's looking at the list. Buck is going to be able to name all of these.
No, now I can name these things, but this is the kind of barometer that people are, because people are going to freak out, or people said, at least a lot of the feedback I've gotten, can he at least pass for 3,000 yards? Because obviously the Titans didn't have a 3,000-yard passer last year because Levis got hurt and Mason Rudolph was in and out of the lineup. But 3,000 yards is like the bare minimum. It's my version of Cam Ward shows up to work at 5 a.m. Like, that's what he's supposed to do. That's your job. Gardner Minshew, the top 25, or at least the bottom of the top 25, Brandon Weeden, Warren Moon, Ryan Tannehill, Gardner Minshew, Derek Carr, Robert Griffin, all had at least 3,200 passing yards in their rookie season. So if you're going to do it on the counting stats side of things, like 3,000 passing yards or even 3,500 passing yards for a guy who's coming in with the pedigree of Cam Ward for a number one overall pick, like that's routine in the league, especially with as much passing as there is, especially in an offense like this that's going to run out 3 wide receiver sets more often than not.
Yeah, Caleb Williams did that last year, and he had an okay rookie season. Did people consider Caleb Williams' rookie season okay or unsatisfactory given the hype, pedigree?
Probably
unsatisfactory.
But he was a consensus number one overall pick the whole way through. He had 3,541.
Numbers are hard. 20 touchdowns, 6 interceptions.
Smart ass.
For who?
Caleb Williams.
That's pretty solid.
If you're looking at just the numbers and not the result of the games, not how he played, not how his offensive line was, if you just looked at that number, 35-41, 20 touchdowns, 6 interceptions for Cam Ward, I think Titans fans would be doing backflips if I told you that's what he's going to throw. He's going to throw 6 picks all year. Levis did that in a game.
No, he didn't. Stop.
Okay.
Caleb Williams, it felt like it. Caleb Williams did that running for his life, too. Like, Caleb Williams had rookie numbers that you look at and say, yeah, that's pretty solid for a rookie quarterback. He just had Jaden Daniels and Bo Nix surrounding him.
Jaden Daniels, for what it's worth, last season, these are regular season stats. So, of course, Jaden Daniels playing well into the postseason, going to an NFC championship, setting everybody's expectations way out of whack with what a rookie quarterback should be capable of. 3,568 passing yards. He had 25 touchdowns to 9 picks.
27 more yards, 5 more touchdowns, 3 more interceptions than Caleb Williams. And he's heralded as one of the greatest offensive rookies of the whatever generation you want to say.
I mean, it's just what he did on the ground, too, right? And how much they won. I mean, he broke the rookie record, broke RG3's record for the same franchise for rush yards by a rookie. He was a huge part of their run game, and it just willed them to so many big wins late in the season and in the playoffs.
But that is an interesting conversation, though, that those two are like the complete opposites of what you would think of a rookie season, and they're separated by 27 passing yards.
Well, that's the thing. Like, the counting stats lie.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's the thing that and we'll have to repeat that 7,000 times over, and even then people won't listen to us because they get caught up in fantasy numbers. That's a lot of what carries the conversation. Were they a good quarterback? All right, how many yards did they pass for? How many touchdowns did they throw? When in reality, you have to take the context from each and every individual game and understand, okay, what progress did this player make from one game to the next? Did he make a mistake? Let's just take Denver, right? They're opening on the road at Denver against the league's best sack defense with the defensive player of the year, the reigning defensive player of the year, Pat Surtain at one corner, and Jahdae Barron, a first-round pick, he's expecting to start right away, right? Jahdae Barron is going to be the opposite on the opposite side of Pat Surtain. One would imagine. I haven't been paying attention to
I think he'll start in the slot.
Yeah. I
Is he a
think,
slot player?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they'll probably move him around a little bit, too.
Okay. I haven't caught up on Broncos OTAs reports yet. But,
Todd McShay's been doing backflips over that fit. So.
oh, really?
Yes.
Okay. Is he is a friend of the show, Todd McShay? Is he going to be on anytime in the near future?
I have been pestering his management, and I keep getting Todd is on another exclusive vacation in the Bahamas. So
yeah, he just did the entire NFL draft with him and some other dude in a dark room by himself. Of course, this man needs
hey, I'm not
vacation.
mad about it. Hell, I asked for Minch. So, I mean, I'll take anybody at this point.
I think, though, when we talk about Cam, I don't want to throw out the counting stats entirely, right? Because there is a certain bar that he has to achieve. And the turnovers, it's more to me about, does he put them in harm's way because of how damning turnovers were for them last year? Because when you look at even the things that they look like they might have been able to accomplish, when they start to look like they might have success on a drive, and Will Levis just nukes them because he throws the most mind-numbing interception you've ever seen, or he has a botched exchange with the center, or any number of different ways that they themselves set themselves back, even when they would do something well, one step forward to take two steps back, right? That was the definition, maybe 4 or 5 steps back. That was the definition of the 2024 Titans. To me, it's about, all right, he has some tendencies to try and just wing it, right? How much is he doing within structure? How often is he putting the ball in harm's way? If he does commit a turnover, how damning is that turnover? Like, the situational nature of the turnovers, to me, are as telling as anything from, can they work with this guy, or is this just going to be another one of last year?
Find out how much Robert Walsh puts the ball in harm's way as 104.5 The Zone is bringing back the Split Happens Bowling Bash. Special guests and listeners Thursday, June 26th at King's Dining and Entertainment in Cool Springs. It'll be a great night of bowling, food, drinks, prizes, and so much more. It benefits Home Street Home. The good thing for you, the listener, is admission is free. All you got to do is RSVP at 1045thezone.com.
615.
Thank you.
7:30. What are you? You're sound drunk back there. You're abusing your power on the soundboard.
I think I can do whatever the hell I want to on the soundboard. But
Literally, I don't have time to come back there and stop you.
for poops and giggles, what's the most passing yards for a Titans rookie quarterback? Not Oilers, excluding Oilers.
I mean, it would have to be
Vince.
It would have
or
to
Marcus. No, it'd be Vince.
You have to say one of them. You can't just say names.
It's either Vince or Marcus.
Well, I don't know. They were so bad Marcus's rookie year.
Yeah. Vince won Offensive Rookie of the Year, but I'm going to say Vince because he won Offensive Rookie of the Year, even though his numbers were not.
Yeah, the numbers
were not great.
will stun you.
He didn't play in every game.
Marcus? It's probably Marcus.
It's Marcus.
Yeah, he played in every game.
2,800 yards, 19 touchdowns, and I can't see the interceptions, but it is double digits. So 2,800 yards. That's all you would have to do if you're Cam Ward to have the Titans era rookie passing record.
VY threw for 2,199.
Will Levis is 4th on this list, which tells you about how often rookie quarterbacks get to play for the Titans, but 1,800 yards.
Yeah, and he didn't get into the lineup until when Tannehill got hurt in London. That was week 6, I think. And then Levis, the debut against Atlanta was week 7, or was it later than that? I can't remember.
Something like
off the top of my head. But anyway, he didn't play like the first 6 or 7 games of the year.
It's
God,
wild.
This list is tough.
Looking back at some of Vince Young's
you said
numbers.
The list is tough?
Yeah.
It's
for Titans rookies.
Caleb Williams' dad didn't want him to go to the Bears because that's where quarterbacks go to die. Buddy, may I present to you the Tennessee Titans graveyard of rookie QBs?
Buddy, the Bears have decades more than the Titans.
The Titans are just lucky they're not a 100-year-old franchise like the Bears are.
They're including the Oilers in this, but Zach Mettenberger with 1,400 yards. And then after that,
savior.
There is not another 1,000-yard rookie passer in Titans history. Are you guys familiar with Jackie Lee? Jackie Lee, which, they're saying that's
Is that
Houston.
Oilers?
Yeah, no,
Okay.
they have the Titans logo there, though. Let me find another one for you. Malik Willis is 15th with 276 yards.
Goodness.
Rusty Smith.
Rusty Smith. I think Rusty Smith might have been the quarterback for that Texans game that Cortland Finnegan and Andre Johnson got into it.
This is my favorite stat of the whole thing. Logan Woodside is 24th with 7. The road to pass Woodside for Cam is on the way, baby.
First completion.
That first pass. Congratulations, you're 23rd.
Watch, it'll lose yardage. Because I have people, and you can always interact on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch if you like. The phone number 615-737-1045. Brandon on YouTube says they're going to spank Denver. It's going to be a coming out party. And listen, ain't nothing wrong with being optimistic as a fan. I know I'm super dismissive of oh my God, our quarterback wakes up so early, because I think that's stupid and that's what he's supposed to do. But I don't blame you for getting excited about it, because he's new and he just got here and he hadn't done anything wrong yet, so there's no reason for you to be pissed at Cam Ward or anything Cam Ward related. It's just all good vibes right now until they play an actual game and you've got the Denver defense chewing on his spine. But I think it's also important to have realistic expectations so that if he doesn't perform the way that you've hyped yourself up to think that he's going to perform in Cam Ward or in week one, because savior of the franchise, number one overall pick, he's got a new look offensive line that is going to debut in Denver against the best sack defense in football last year. He is going to be facing one of the most effective defensive coordinators in Vance Joseph, and he's got Denard Wilson to prepare him. And for those of you who listened to the Cody Barton conversation yesterday, Cody, who came over to Tennessee this year, off-ball linebacker from Denver, talked about the similarities between Vance Joseph's defense and Denard Wilson's defense. So Cam will have as much preparation as they're going to, as they can possibly offer him. And it still maybe a lot, right? Because it's week one at altitude in Denver against a really impressive football team that, if not for the existence of Jaden Daniels, we've talked about this many times, Bo Nix probably would have been the offensive rookie of the year.
Yeah, for sure.
So you can gas yourself up if you want to, but then don't come back and kill that quarterback if he does not meet your expectations, because your expectations were unrealistic in the first place.
Go look at Bo Nix's week one. Or Jaden Daniel. It wasn't terrible, but nobody lit the world on fire in week one.
If he's pedestrian, but he manages the situation and they play in a close game, win or loss, I'm probably, if I'm a Titans fan, happy with that result. But I'm not going to, because we get a lot. We had that caller yesterday be like, I can't deal with the negativity that you're already bringing. I'm like, it's not negativity. It's just realistic. Like, I'm not going to gaslight you about the quarterback that wakes up early in the morning.
Well, when you speak, it just reeks of negativity.
I got a tone issue. It's I can't do anything about my tone. That's not my fault.
In week one was against Seattle in the 26-20 loss on the road. Again, talk about introduction to the NFL. All right, welcome to the 12th man. 26 of 42 for 138 yards, 0 touchdowns, 2 picks. He did have 1 rushing touchdown and, scrambled around a little bit.
And that, if it looks like that, but he does some things well that you can build upon for next week. Who's week 2? They open at home against the Rams.
Yeah.
Which is, again, not an easy defense to play. Like, his first 6 weeks are going to suck.
Jaden Daniels, week 1, in Tampa in a 17-point loss, 17 of 24 for 184 yards, no touchdowns, no picks, 2 rushing scores.
So if the Titans lose by double digits in week 1, are Titans fans going to have a nuclear meltdown because the number 1 overall pick at quarterback looked like a week 1 quarterback?
No. Some will, for sure. But I tend to think the majority will understand.
And the fringe lunatics will call us and we'll work our way through the Sad Boy Radio Monday. But, listen, they could win. I have no idea. We're months and months away from them even being in a preseason game, right? There's plenty of time for us to work our way through this process. We'll hear from Greg Cosell on why he likes the way that the Titans coaching staff is working to maximize Cam Ward's skill set right now later on in the show. But coming up next, we've got why is Jeremy Pruitt back in the news? Why?
Find out next.
Again, Lane Kiffin, Jeremy Pruitt. We got some controversy. Find out next. Welcome back to the show. Fueled by Hattie B's Hot Chicken. 615-737-1045. We'll get back to some Titan stuff here in just a little bit. You're welcome to chime in at any point. We have an interesting Jeremy Pruitt story that involves Lane Kiffin, and it comes by way of A.J. McCarron, the former Alabama quarterback. And any Jeremy Pruitt recruiting story that I feel like we've talked about in the last, how many years has Pruitt been gone? 4?
Yeah. January 2021, he was let go. So 4.5. We're knocking on the door of 4.5.
Since Cornbread left us, not, he's still with us, obviously. We don't want to kill off Jeremy Pruitt. But since he was dishonorably discharged as the head coach of the Tennessee Volunteers for infractions that would be, maybe not completely legal. You don't want to be handing out McDonald's bags or Chick-fil-A bags? Did we ever determine the fast food?
I think it was alleged to be Chick-fil-A bags, but it was actually McDonald's.
Yeah, fast food bags of cash, probably still frowned upon in today's name, image, and likeness and transfer portal environment, but a lot of the things that got Pruitt out the door would be, okay under the current construct of collegiate athletics. So what is this A.J. McCarron story that involves both Jeremy Pruitt, a.k.a. Cornbread, and Lane Kiffin?
Yeah, this is going way back. This is going back to A.J. McCarron's recruitment. McCarron obviously won multiple national championships at Alabama. When he was being recruited by Alabama, Pruitt was simply the director of player development. He was just a small assistant on the Nick Saban coaching staff. So A.J. McCarron has a podcast with Trent Richardson and Chris Stewart, Alabama's play-by-play voice. It's just called The Dynasty. Now, we could just play the audio of this story, but it's like 4 or 5 minutes long.
Yeah, I don't need that.
So we just had to pause our Titans programming to interject this story about Jeremy Pruitt. A.J. McCarron, telling this story to Trent and Chris, says that he's at home. He's a 16, 17-year-old high school kid. Bama's been pushing. They've been recruiting him like crazy. And Tennessee, with Lane Kiffin as the head coach, had just started to enter the picture. So AJ says he is at home taking a nap in his childhood bedroom. He hears a banging on his window, a tap, 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 tap on the window, pulls the shade to see it's Lane Kiffin and the entire Tennessee coaching staff standing right outside of his window. Why were they standing outside of his window? Because Jeremy Pruitt had been directed by Nick Saban to go camp out in his car outside of A.J. McCarron's house to make sure Tennessee didn't come knocking to talk to A.J. McCarron, because Nick Saban knew that Lane Kiffin in Tennessee was, and they were sniffing around. He knew because Lance Thompson, who was on Kiffin's Tennessee staff, used to work for Saban at Alabama, and he called up Pruitt, said, look, I know Lance and them are sniffing around. I need you to go sit in front of that house, make sure that Tennessee is not showing up at his door. So
Lance is Lance Thompson.
Thompson, correct. So Tennessee knew this, so they go around the house and tap on the window. And AJ says he opens the shades, and it's the entire coaching staff, and Lance Thompson's there going, let us in, let us in. He lets them in, and they sit there and they talk for like 45 minutes. Had a long conversation with the entire Tennessee offensive coaching staff. So Tennessee's coaching staff leaves, and Nick Saban calls A.J. McCarron shortly thereafter, just checking in what's going on, and A.J.'s telling him, I just had a 45-minute conversation with Tennessee in my living room. And Saban starts losing his mind on the phone. Like, I told Jeremy to sit out there and watch the house and make sure they didn't. He's saying this to A.J. McCarron. And so he says, I'm going to call Jeremy.
By the way, what is Pruitt supposed to do?
This is just
stand arms wide open and block the door?
I can't get enough of these
recruiting stories so dumb.
From like these days too. Like the pre-NIL. I can't get enough of this stuff. So Saban's like, all right, I got to call Jeremy. He calls Jeremy Pruitt, starts chewing him out, telling him, I told you to sit in front of the house. And Jeremy's like, Coach, I've been sitting in front of this house for 2 damn days. Tennessee's not here. And Saban's like, no, the hell you're not. Tennessee just left. I just talked to A.J. McCarron. Pruitt's like, nobody's been to the house. Nobody left or showed up, but he decides to check. So he walks up to the house. He knocks on the door, and a little old lady answered, according to A.J. McCarron. Jeremy Pruitt asks, is A.J. here? And the little old lady tells Jeremy Pruitt that A.J. McCarron doesn't live here. He lives several houses down the street.
6 houses down that way.
So Jeremy Pruitt had been sitting in his car camped out for multiple days in front of the wrong house. And Tennessee still went around AJ's house to bang on his window, crawl in through the window into his childhood
they didn't crawl
bedroom.
through the window.
They had to have.
No. There's something predatory in nature about that. Surely not. Surely you did not have an entire coaching staff of grown-ass men sneaking through a window into a 17-year-old man's bedroom.
Brandon on the FNM Big Chat says it just means more. I mean,
can we just go back to all this?
Dude.
Like, this is so much more fun than it takes $1 million just to talk to Nico Iamaleava. Like, what?
Hearing A.J. McCarron and Trent Richardson dying laughing about their former assistant coach, Jeremy Pruitt, sitting in front of the wrong house for multiple days during the pursuit of A.J. McCarron was so funny.
How does that make the Tennessee fans among us? Also, the producer's studio just continues to multiply people like rabbits back there. There's like 75 people back there at any given point, and Ross's big-ass head is taking up the most room of anybody. But I am so tickled by the idea that all of these Pruitt stories exist. And I'm sure that somebody who was in the hiring process at the University of Tennessee during Shiano-gate and everything else had to have been aware of some of the, cornbread. I mean, there's Pruitt and then there's cornbread, right? They're the same person, but they're two different caricatures of the human being. Like, the idea that all these cornbread stories are out there and Tennessee still made that person the head coach is...
I mean, you're showing you don't recall at all or know anything about how that coaching hire took place.
Oh, no, I remember.
The coup and John Curry being forced out and Philip Fulmer
Travis
being named AD.
John Curry's number on Twitter for the Tennessee fan base. No, I remember Shiano Sunday.
No, I know, but in terms of Pruitt getting hired, that was Philip Fulmer. I mean, Philip Fulmer took over that coaching search, hit the reset button, and narrowed it down to 3 candidates. It was Jeremy Pruitt, Mel Tucker, who ended up, going to Colorado and having a nice season at Michigan State, and then controversy.
Sexual harassment.
I don't know what he's doing now, Mel Tucker.
Hopefully far, far away from, anybody who's in a vulnerable situation.
Yes, he is doing nothing.
Good. We love.
And Kevin Steele was the 3rd candidate, the longtime Auburn defensive coordinator.
Alabama Nick Saban assistant.
He was at Alabama for a period, and then at Auburn for a long time under Gus Malzahn. So those are the 3 candidates. And Kevin Steele was a head coach for some time, a very unsuccessful tenure at Baylor years ago. Mel Tucker ended up being a decent coach, and then all the other stuff.
Yep.
And Jeremy Pruitt. And he went with Jeremy Pruitt. And Jeremy Pruitt convinced him with his coaching staff that he was going to fill out, which, by the way, Jeremy Pruitt had a coaching staff filled with guys that had incredible resumes. But Jeremy Pruitt wasn't a head coach, and we learned that very quickly. And I just can't get enough of these stories. Camped out in front of the wrong house. I don't know what is funnier 6 about
doors
this.
Down. Do you think he just didn't see any of the commotion? Like, 6 doors down, not a long way. Like, that's still within a block, right? Like, Jeremy Pruitt, what do you think he's doing? You think he was catching a nap while Lane Kiffin is sneaking through a bedroom window?
Yeah, Brandon points out, and we still didn't get him. Vols didn't get him still. We had that advantage of Pruitt being a dope and not even knowing where to go. So, I mean, Pruitt sitting outside of a 16-year-old's house for multiple days and being at the wrong house, or Lane Kiffin and his entire coaching staff sneaking around the house to tap on the window. Like, I don't know what the bigger takeaway is from this story.
It's all bad.
I think it's fantastic.
Well, it's all delightful, but delightfully bad. All right. Coming up next, we have Game 1 of the NBA Finals between the Pacers and the Oklahoma City Thunder tonight. The commissioner of the NBA said some dopey things yesterday on national television to get people excited, or try to get people excited about this NBA Finals, and we'll play those comments from Adam Silver coming up next.
Hey guys, Luke is here to tell you about the coolest new spot in Music City, Fog Street Lawn Club. It is Nashville's premier soccer pub, which means it's your go-to spot for Nashville SC watch parties, home or away, and for U.S. soccer matches happening all summer long. But Stanley Cup Finals, NBA Finals, it is your go-to spot. Downstairs, tons of space, TVs everywhere, tables. You can go upstairs, check out the rooftop with the best downtown view of Nashville that you will find. Play British-style lawn bowling up there for free with any purchase from their awesome menu of British pub-style food. You can head next door, too, and go axe throwing at Bad Axe. Grab your friends. There's always something to do. It's located near the Gulch in the upcoming Pytown neighborhood, and it gives you the experience of downtown Nashville with the great escape from the hustle and bustle, which is perfect for a weekend like CMA Fest. Family-friendly, great for all sports fans, and happy hour is Monday through Thursday from 3 to 6 p.m., and I will see you at Fog Street Lawn Club. It is 11:01. Good morning from the 104.5 The Zone studios. I'm Lucas Panzica. The Stanley Cup final got underway on Wednesday. The Oilers came back from down 3-1 to force overtime, and Leon Draisaitl scored the game winner on a power play goal in the final minute of the extra period to beat the Panthers 4-3. Former Preds Victor Arvidsson and Matthias Ekholm each had a goal, and Edmonton takes a 1-0 series lead. In NFL news, the Baltimore Ravens have signed wideout Rashad Bateman to a 3-year, $36.75 million deal, an extension that includes $20 million in guaranteed money for the former first-rounder. The NBA Finals are underway tonight in Oklahoma City. It's Game 1 between Thunder and Pacers. Both teams looking to win their first ever NBA title. Tip-off is at 7:30. Also in Oklahoma City, Game 2 of the Women's College World Series tonight at 7 p.m. Texas took Game 1 on Wednesday with a 2-1 win over Texas Tech. For all your foundation repairs and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Second hour is upon us. We're happy to have you. Thanks for hanging out, sticking around, or just jumping in. If you are starting your day that way, or I guess not starting your day. How many people are starting their day at 11 o'clock?
Some people.
A lot of CMA Fest people, I feel.
If you are, I'm jealous.
Oh, please. You have it so easy now. There's no more 4:30 a.m. wake-ups. You don't have to live this Cam Ward life. You can show up as you please.
I paid my dues. I paid my dues.
According to whom?
You ever heard about Rayford Brown? I used to have to produce a Rayford Brown country show back in North Carolina in the middle of nowhere. 4 o'clock in the morning. Had to wake up at 3:30.
Who are you
Uphills
trying to
both
impress?
ways.
How do you even spell
Uphill
Rayford?
both ways. R-A-E-F-O-R-D.
Yeah.
Ah.
Somebody give me a spelling bell ding.
You would have to do that for yourself.
There we go.
What's going on with that? It seems like it shorts out halfway through some of these sounds. There we go.
Yeah, nice.
You just didn't press it hard enough, huh? There you go.
There, I got it fixed now.
Put some mustard on it. We have the NBA Finals beginning tonight. It's OKC hosting Indiana. The Thunder are favored and should be at this point in time. 9.5. It's a huge line for a Finals Game 1. Indiana coming off a victory over the New York Knicks, who then fired their coach after 6 games, reaching the Eastern Conference Finals for the first time in 25 years. Tom Thibodeau out. After that, OKC. Did you see that they may fire Doris Burke at ESPN, by the way? Because the NBA is not in love with the fact that she keeps bringing up that SGA is a foul line merchant, among other things. Like they haven't been. There was a report from Andrew Marchand of The Athletic, who covers media for a living.
Like they're upset about her phrasing it as
she doesn't. She apparently has gone back to that reference several times, and people
Like she is those exact words.
foul line merchant.
Foul line merchant.
I mean, no, that's exactly what he is.
I mean, it's part of what makes him like an elite player is
Correct.
his ability to get to the foul line.
Yes, there's nothing. I mean, I understand that it can. It's like system quarterback. Like some people consider it a slur to call when in reality all quarterbacks are asked to play within the structure of the system.
It's the word merchant that like immediately, because I will say that it gets connotated with something negative, right? Like, I don't know, if a guy is good at forcing pass interference, like, oh, he's a penalty merchant. You know, it sounds dirty
Nobody
almost.
says penalty merchant.
It's also, look how far we've come, where we used to lambast people like Shaq and all these other terrible free throw shooters, that now we have to make fun of someone. Oh, you can't score without getting fouled. Like, isn't that so dumb? Doesn't that seem dumb to anybody else?
No, it's fair. And also, he can score without being fouled. It's just he's very effective at getting to the line.
How many of those are and ones where he does score with like one knee on the floor and just a crazy angle? What other like merchant use can you think of in sports that's like a negative? Like in
I feel like
soccer,
foul line merchant is very specific.
it is. In soccer, if like half your goals are from the penalty spot, then you're just a penalty merchant. Like, yeah, he's got 10 goals, but like 5 of them are penalties.
Like if you're a pass rusher, like he's a third down merchant. Like they'll put guys out there who are only...
You don't call it merchant. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I interrupted you in the middle of it because I was thinking like Harold Landry cleanup artist. Like he's not actually winning one-on-one reps.
Right.
He's just there to clean up a sack. He gets the sack in the box score, which is why box scores lie sometimes because he's not outright beating a tackle. Jeff just ran some quarterback outside the pocket and Harold was there to clean it up. So I think there's different versions of foul line merchant. It's system quarterback. It's cleanup artist. There's a variety of different things that may not, while they are effective and they are getting the job done or doing a job to an extent, people, may put a negative connotation on that. Either way, and it sounds like with the Inside the NBA crew coming over that ESPN is looking at shaking up a couple of different things. So I enjoy Doris Burke's analysis. I hope they don't do anything with her that way. Maybe they'll put her on a different, maybe not the top NBA team, NBA broadcast team, but that's not what we're talking about. Adam Silver was making the rounds because there's been so much time between the conference finals, given that the Wolves were wrapped up pretty handily by the Thunder quite some time ago, and that the Pacers and Knicks series ended last month at this point. Adam Silver on Fox Sports 1 talking about why people should be interested in a Thunder-Pacers small market merchant final. Do you have
That's
the audio?
one thing I really admire about the NFL. I mean, if we were going into a Super Bowl and it was Packers against Steelers, you guys would be celebrating that. Those would be storied franchises. People wouldn't be talking about, the fact that Pittsburgh is a small market. So in fact, I'm happy whatever team ends up in the finals, but it's been intentional from our standpoint to create a system, a collective bargaining agreement that allows more teams to compete. And just by way of background, we're going to have to go through a process of getting to the point where people are accustomed to tuning into the finals because it's the two teams that deserve to be there and it's the best basketball. Similar to, again, with the Super Bowl, if I asked somebody if they were going to watch the Super Bowl, they wouldn't say who's playing. It's a national holiday. And now that's nirvana.
That's the goal.
I'm not saying we're anywhere close to that yet. There's still, if the Knicks are in the finals, there's a segment of our fan base that's going to watch that may not watch if it's other teams. But my job is to get people to love and follow this game, and so that if you're a huge basketball fan, you should want to tune into the finals because that's the best basketball.
I get his point. I hate how he made the point. Do not compare Indiana and Oklahoma City to Green Bay and Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
Green Bay is literally called Title Town. And yes, Green Bay is the smallest. It is the smallest NFL market by like the city of Green Bay proper. But the Packers are a national fan base. There are Packers fans in Tennessee. There are Packers fans in California. Like the Green Bay Packers fan base is as close to, it is probably one of the biggest fan bases in America. The Pittsburgh Steelers have 6 Super Bowl titles? 5 or 6. I can't remember off the top of my head. Either way, they are one of the most storied franchises in the history of football. The Pacers, if they are to win, I believe this would be their first NBA title as the Pacers in the NBA. The Oklahoma City Thunder most famously got to the finals or got through the playoffs with that crew that we thought would get back to the finals or get back to the conference finals with Durant and James Harden and Russell Westbrook, and then never did, right? They're the Supersonics more than anything. And the Thunder are trying to establish themselves in their, Thunder era, right? We talk about the Titans era versus the Oilers. Their version of that, these are two basically new kids on the block, even though these franchises have been around for some time. Don't compare them to two of the most storied franchises in the NFL en route to trying to make your point. And his point at the end of the day is he's trying to get people interested in basketball because basketball ratings, they're never going to be football. Football is America's most popular sport and college football is the second most popular sport. So you're fighting uphill in a couple of different ways. These playoffs have been electric for the most part. There have been some blowouts. There's blowouts in every postseason, whether it's the NFL, college football, college basketball, or the NBA, hockey as well. So he's doing his job. He's trying to make his point that he's a steward of the game, and he's trying to promote that these are two of the best teams in the field. And they are two of the best teams in the field. But you just sound like a dope when you start the analogy off that way, comparing it to Green Bay and Pittsburgh.
Two of the most iconic franchises in the National Football League.
Like, come on.
The NBA doesn't really have that, right? They don't have a small... I guess San Antonio is that a small market? Like, You know, is that the closest thing to a small market team that,
I
you know,
wouldn't
has...
say that saying it anywhere in Texas.
Yeah, fair enough. So, yeah, I guess the NBA doesn't really have a small market team. It's a very unique thing to the NFL, I feel like.
Maybe like Washington. Washington's probably their small market team.
Oh, you mean like the Wizards?
Correct.
But yeah, they're also awful.
They're so
nobody in the District of Columbia, Maryland, or Virginia give a damn about.
Yeah, they couldn't even be good when they had prime Bradley Beal,
right?
Or John Wall. They couldn't push through either one of those. So while we're speaking about people that look like wizards, Adam Silver is terrifying.
No, he looks like
Megamind.
He does look like Megamind.
Nah, see, I was going to say Nosferatu, where he just has that like vampiric reptilian body. He looks like he is both the beginning and the end of Benjamin Button's life at the same time.
Yes.
Like something you would have been irrationally terrified of when you were a kid. Like when I went to my great-grandmommy's house when I was a little kid, she used to have this big Buddha, and I was scared as hell of this Buddha. Adam Silver is my adult big Buddha. He just looks terrifying. It looks like there's no way he could be genuine. Looks like if he bit you, you would know. Like he would take a chunk out.
Did you guys both see the first Men in Black?
Of course.
Edgar, the farmer that the bug alien creature takes over. Adam Silver to me looks like an alien that is wearing human skin.
See,
he looks like something that is like living inside an actual human being, posing to be one of us.
He looks like he's related to the bugs that love the coffee. Like he's like the one that made it out.
Oh,
they're like, "Hey man, what's going on, dude?" And they're like all drinking the coffee straight out of the pot. Like he looks like he's their older brother that went to college, got out.
Man, this turned into just an absolute, just ruthless takedown of Adam Silver.
Kick a man while he's down.
He's doing okay, other than his NBA analysis. But, you know, I mean, his biggest problem is the coverage of the NBA is not about the basketball. It's about the drama.
Oh, my God. Jameson said Voldemort.
Yes. He also looks like Voldemort.
But like the Voldemort, what Sorcerer's Stone? What's the Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher that he's living on the back of his
the
head?
guy with the head wrap? Is it Quirrell?
Yeah, maybe. Professor Quirrell?
It's like...
But yeah, like his face is coming out of the back of his head.
Adam Silver's on the back of his head.
Jameson says, but with a nose.
Dude, he does have a honker.
That just feels mean.
Quirrell. Professor Quirrell. Quirrell. That's Adam Silver. That's the commissioner of the NBA. All right, that concludes our NBA Finals
Game
preview.
1 preview. Thunder Pacers tonight in OKC.
Yeah, coming up next, you're going to hear some Greg Cosell analysis on the work that they're doing with Cam Ward, provided that Burt can cut it fast enough. Find out if he can next.
It is lunchtime. That means it's time for Hattie B's. Visit any one of their 7 locations in Middle Tennessee, the Factory at Franklin, Lower Broadway, Melrose, Midtown, Nashville West, even the Nashville Airport. When you're flying in and out of town, it's a family-run restaurant. It serves up your favorite Southern food and authentic Nashville hot chicken, hand-breaded, cooked to order at your spice level, hot or not, whatever works for you with their favorite piece of chicken, and pick your favorite side. If you're like me, the sides are critically important. Southern greens, pimento mac and cheese, the bacon cheese grits. If you download the Hattie B's app today, you'll get a dessert just by downloading the app. Go ahead and start to build up those rewards. Skip the line, order it for delivery or pickup. You can also bring the heat to your event, party, wedding, corporate function. Let Hattie be your guest of honor. Mouth is watering just thinking about it. We're going to go to Hattie B's after the show today. Download the Hattie B's app and go to HattieB.com.
Welcome back to the show, fueled by Hattie B's Hot Chicken. So what should you actually care about what's going on with Cam Ward at this point in time? OTAs, they're off today. I actually haven't looked at the schedule. Do they have activities scheduled for tomorrow? That's what last week's schedule was. They gave them the day off on Thursday, then they had some kind of team building activity on Friday.
Yeah, I think there's a scavenger hunt tomorrow.
I mean, for all I know, there could be. They're out there playing tug of war and stuff like that.
It does seem fun. Let's get out there. Why don't we should do? See, maybe we wouldn't fight as much if we did stuff like that.
We would absolutely fight as much.
We would fight over who found the most things. I guarantee you that. I can plan us a scavenger hunt if y'all want to get into it.
Yeah, because I would cheat and then win.
How would you cheat at a scavenger hunt?
I don't know. I'd find a way.
Put the zebra on there. First to find the zebra wins.
That's the only scavenger hunt item.
It's the only thing that matters right now.
Yeah, and then the winner gets donkey kicked in the skull. Potential brain damage.
You just have to find it. You don't have to capture it.
Y'all are severely underrating my Equus speaking abilities. I used to talk
Equus?
to Equus. Yes, the
You
genus.
saying that genus correctly?
Yes, I think so. At least that's how the horses say it. Because I got a little Dr. Doolittle in me. You saw it at the zoo, and I'll show you again. Soon as that zebra's in my backyard.
That's as aggressive as I've ever seen a meerkat look is when you tried to communicate with it, and when it was very upset by your
sound
presence.
It made when it retreated.
It was growling at you. That was not a friendly. That was not this is one of us. Who is this giant red human being wandering into my facility, holding a microphone in front of my face and asking me who the Titans should draft number 1 overall?
Well, you don't even know what he said. He was upset that they didn't have a later pick. Felt like they were cornered. They had to.
People are suggesting we do zone field day. We tried this. We had Lucas field a punt from Brett Kern, and he dropped it.
Yeah,
that's not what field day is. Do you not have a concept of field day?
Yeah, you never had a field day in middle school?
They would send you all out there and they'd be like, okay, 40-yard dash. Okay, who can hula hoop the longest? Who can make the most basketball shots in a minute?
Not that we would ever promote underage drinking, of course, but at field day in high school, I was usually very, very hungover.
Y'all had a field day in high school.
We did not have a field day in high school.
This is like an elementary school thing. Your parents would give you like $3 in quarters and you'd buy a bunch of candy, get hopped up, get ready for your events. It's like Little Kid Olympics.
Yeah, my school, we did what was called Tour de Woods Tower. Woods Tower was the neighborhood that one of my friends lived in. He threw a party for the entire senior class. There was just so many.
Again, we are not talking about high school. We are talking about like 10-year-old, 11-year-old children.
I'm just telling you what my field day experience was, which was to be drunk as a rat and then show up and get yelled at by my football coach.
Okay, 104.5 The Zone Field Day, July 4th weekend. Come on down to our downtown studios. We're going to do all this on asphalt. Sign up on 1045thezone.com.
We'll do a punt, pass, and kick. Who do you think?
Are you going to let me play this Cosell sound? Or are you going to flesh out this field day exercise?
Let's finish this first.
Who can throw the ball, just straight up, throw the ball the furthest on the zone staff? Okay. Which of the
because he's longer, like there's a windup, right?
Yeah, he's very quick.
6'9", you know, like now. His knees hurt. So Slay might be out of the competition.
And it's lower body consistency. It's what we're about to get to. That matters.
Of the non-former professional athletes that work at 104.5 The Zone, who could throw the ball, a football, the furthest? Because that's what I loved about punt, pass, kick. It was just how far can you throw it, and how far can you punt it?
If it's just distance, I feel like I've got a good shot.
Distance.
I feel like I've got a good shot.
I don't know. I bet yours will be a dead duck out there.
I would probably go with Ross.
I mean, yeah, it's not a spiral. Well, Ross isn't.
Oh, yeah.
It was D3. That doesn't count.
Ross
he was basically a vacation
human.
Bible school.
He's a D3 athlete.
He's half a person until such time as he gets a more established role on the show, other than making appearances and breathing heavily while he talks into the microphone. Is he back there?
No, Ross would win.
You have thoughts?
I don't think you could throw it past 30 yards.
That's fine. That's further than most of the. I mean, have you seen the rest of the staff?
That's a good point.
I feel like I win.
Anyway. Next, punting. Who can punt the farthest? Tee it up. Go ahead.
Greg Cosell, I asked him today, we did an AFC North preview because we're going around the divisions right now. Of course, Cosell of NFL Films. You can hear him later this afternoon on 3HL. As a matter of fact, I'm not sure what they'll talk to him about, but I wanted to run some things by him that have been happening at Titans OTAs, and one of the things was talking to Titans quarterbacks coach Bo Hardigree about how they're trying to get Cam Ward's lower body as consistent as humanly possible before September.
Yeah, and that's always the key, Buck. You know, I go back to when I learned the quarterback position from Bill Walsh 100 years ago, it seems, and all he's talked about was the lower half. that it all starts with your legs. That he would look, when he studied a quarterback, he would look at their legs on their drop back. And if everything was right with that, with the legs and the setup, then he knew that they'd throw the ball well. And the thing is, and I'm a firm believer in this, and it comes from people like Bill Walsh and guys I've learned the position from, who were coaches in the league, is you should throw the ball the same way every time unless the defense demands otherwise. There shouldn't be any change in the way you deliver a ball. In some ways, it's like a baseball pitcher. If you drop back, you drop back. Obviously, there's different drops. And he'll be in the gun a lot, Cam Ward, I imagine. They'll put him under center. I'm sure they've worked on some of that, but he'll be in the gun a lot. So the drops are a little different, but you still have to plant that back foot and you have to stride to your throw. And you can't just get into, which you see a lot now because of the way the position is taught beginning at a young age. You see a lot of quarterbacks, and I'm actually watching college tape still for probably about another 2 weeks before I dive back into NFL tape. I'm watching these college quarterbacks, and so many of them, they grab the ball and they just kind of throw it, off balance. You can't really play like that in the NFL. There's certain throws that, you can make those throws, to really quick, short throws, but you want to have your feet set. You want to have a firm base. You want to have good ball carriage. That's what they call it, where the ball is. You don't want it too low. You don't want it too high. And you want to be in position to deliver the football the same way every time, as I said, unless the defense demands otherwise.
Yeah, and Bo's whole point with that was, we know he can do the sidearm stuff. We're trying to make sure that he can do all the rest of it at this point in time and get him ramped up in that spot.
You know what? Because when they call a play, they don't say, hey, run around and throw it sidearm. That's not how it works. Obviously, we know the game has changed to the point where quarterbacks that can make plays outside of structure, that's become increasingly important in the league, and we know that Cam Ward can do that. In fact, I was watching a defense against Miami, and I remembered some of the throws because obviously I'm seeing Cam Ward, and that were really, really impressive, and he can do that, and that's become increasingly important. But that's not the foundation of how you teach a quarterback to play.
That is Cosell this morning on the latest episode of The Install, which will be up later this afternoon. Oh, it is up now. Look at you.
You get your pod and your YouTube video.
How about that? Go check it out on YouTube and subscribe to The Install with Greg Cosell wherever it is that you get your podcasts.
You can also go to the 1045 The Zone website while you're at it, 1045thezone.com, because Dad's Week is coming on The Zone. If you're looking for a gift for Dad this Father's Day, be sure to tune in all next week, the 9th through the 13th. We're going to give you multiple chances to win Dad tickets, whether it's Nashville SC, Atlanta Braves, concert tickets, and so much more. Head to the Zone website for more info.
You have never looked at me like that until I told you that the install was up. I've never seen that look. It's like, have you ever seen the Talented Mr. Ripley? Gwyneth Paltrow's character says this thing about Dickie Greenleaf, where he goes, when you have his attention, it feels like you're the only person in the world. And when you no longer have his attention, it's so cold. That is you. That is you. When you are nice to me, I feel like I'm the only person in the world. And then when you just turn your back on me, instead of Bert's man bun, you say Bert's man boobs. It really hurts.
Maybe you should be better at your job more often.
I try.
And I won't look at you like, and some of that's just my face, right? It's like my tone. I can't do anything about my tone. I can't do anything about my face. In fact, the Botox, they've tried to Botox the mean out of me, and they just can't get it.
I told him to watch that movie yesterday afternoon. I was like, trust me, just watch the movie.
It was so good.
And he's texting me. He's like, this is amazing. You need to go to HBO.
So who's my character?
And watch that movie.
Dickie Greenleaf.
Jude Law's character.
He is this like...
I'll take any comparison to Jude Law. Hell yeah.
He's living in Italy. He's got a boat.
I think he's more... Philip Seymour Hoffman in that movie.
Much more Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Yeah.
Yes, this is shallow and pedantic.
Just incredibly narcissistic.
Dickie doesn't play piano.
Yeah. You got to watch that movie.
It's called what?
The Talented Mr. Ripley.
Right, incredible.
Well, like I said, be better at your job, and I won't be so mean to you.
I'll do my best.
Okay. 615-737-1045 is how you jump in. So, that's the thing. Not to bring it back to the Cam Ward wakes up or is at work by 5 a.m. thing. But those are the things that I want people to pay attention to most? Because what are Titans fans most captivated by right now, would you say, when they see Cam Ward footage on social media?
Sidearm.
Sidearm.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, right? Like, it's sexual a little bit. It's like, oh, I'm feeling something that I didn't know I could feel before. It's you get out of a relationship, you get into a new one, you're like, all right, we're back, baby. I feel like Titans fans have been so abused in their relationship with previous quarterbacks that they're looking at Cam Ward as, this unattainable thing that, oh my God, that's the 10 and I'm the 4 and
she'll watch the football game with me?
Oh my God. Right? So that's where Titans fans are right now. And then they see a sidearm throw and they get, they're having a religious experience a little bit. But I know he can do that. That's why he's a number 1 overall pick. What I need to know that Cam Ward can do is everything else that a quarterback needs to be responsible for doing, whether it's adjustments at the line of scrimmage, whether it's the proper footwork with consistency. The routine stuff is the thing that you should be gravitating towards the most, because that's the thing that he's working on. That's the thing that he has to refine. That's the thing that they are hyper-focused on, because they know he can do all the other stuff. That's why that's why he is the number 1 overall pick in the draft. He's a talented player. But it's not just talent. We've talked about this a million times over. I'm sure you're tired of me being in reruns on it, but it's true. You do not win in the NFL by talent alone. You win with skill. And the only way for you to become a skilled player is for you to work on the things that you may not have had to work on in college, because you're better than everybody else.
You better get there at 5 a.m. to do it.
I've never been more annoyed.
We're gonna bring that back every time Cam Ward does something good. You know what it is?
You mean something routine?
All those 4 a.m.
Something
wake-up
normal?
calls.
Something that's a part of his job description?
I think Titans fans are the hope when you have a number 1 overall draft pick at quarterback is something slightly above just part of the job description for a quarterback. But yes, you're right. Like, you just want to see just somebody to run the offense.
No, I know. But he runs the offense by being routine, not by whipping it around a defender to a wide receiver that you didn't even see, but Cam Ward can see him and knows that he can get that arm angle around it to make sure that he's got the touchdown or the first down or whatever. So many of those highlights or those tape cut-ups that we had for Callahan when we did the live show was Brian breaking down some of the spectacular stuff that you cannot coach. We know Cam Ward to be coachable. It's just how much more refined can he become? You don't want him to be a routine player, but the routine stuff is going to set up for the spectacular.
Who was the skateboarder that Nate Tice brought up when I asked him his out of left field
It was such
comp
a good reference too
for Cam Ward?
I'll pull it up. Hold on.
Yeah.
The skateboarding folks out there are going to kill me. Rodney something.
It's going to drive me crazy.
I've got the short in front of me, and I'm just trying to see the caption. But yeah, because his whole thing was great fundamentally, right? Does all of the Rodney Mullen. Great fundamentally, just has that extra bit of flair about how he does things, right? Very technically sound, but will kind of be able to put his own spin on things. Will do the creative, crazy things outside of that structure, but he still very much has that structure rather than it being all the way to one side or the other. And we need to see it.
Yeah, for sure. And somebody in the Ben on YouTube says, master the mundane. Yes, that you have to be a master of all. It's not master of none in the NFL or a niche type of player or whatever however you would place these guys in the buckets, or talented dudes that have potential but never achieve their actual ceiling as a player because they couldn't get all the other stuff right. There's plenty of talented players that wash out in the NFL because they can't get the routine stuff down. And that is the thing that is the biggest emphasis for Titans fans. And I know that's not going to make for good social media stuff, or not the stuff that you want to see on Twitter, not the things that you're going to be bitching to the Titan social media team about because show me more Cam Ward sidearm, damn you. Just because you want to be excited. It is a season of hope for a reason. Nobody loses the offseason.
It's the old Bruce Lee clip where it's I fear not the man who's practiced 10,000 kicks once. I fear the man who has practiced one kick 10,000 times.
Yes.
Some people lose the offseason.
Who lost the offseason?
Looks like the Browns are losing the offseason.
Well, that's because they're stupid. We did an AFC North preview today. We didn't even do the Steelers because I'm like, what if Aaron Rodgers is playing quarterback? None of this matters that we would be talking about. I know their defense would stay the same, but it's the Aaron Rodgers offense as soon as you sign Rodgers. So if that happens, we'll do a Rodgers specific episode, I'm sure. But Greg was like, I know what Kevin Stefanski wants to run. I don't know how the hell they're going to run it because I have no idea what the hell their quarterback room is at this point in time.
Is there anyone else outside of the AFC North that you can say lost the offseason? Because it's the Browns, the Steelers, who else?
I mean, can we say the Bengals?
I don't mind putting the Bengals in there. And Shamar Stewart.
Yeah.
Right.
A first-round holdout?
They paid the receivers, but this other stuff is just looking awful.
It's nonsense.
And really, the T. Higgins contract was kind of like a damn, here you go, Bone, because they can get out of that contract next year.
The thing is totally fugazi. Like it's monopoly money that they gave T. Higgins, and I'm sure he's not happy about it. But whatever, he's going to make. Is he making 25? He's not quite at 30 yet, is he? 30 a year?
Well, speaking of money to receivers, Jordan Schultz is reporting that Terry McLaurin is not happy, and he has made it clear to the team that he's frustrated with the lack of progress on a long-term deal. He unexpectedly left voluntary workouts after initially attending, and it remains to be seen whether he will report for mandatory minicamp. That is Jordan Schultz reporting it. I repeat, that is Jordan Schultz reporting it. So he's entering the final. I don't want him to accost me in a coffee shop. McLaurin is entering the final year of his contract. Talks have been minimal.
You're not important enough for him to square up on you.
Well, you don't put me next to Ian Rappaport.
No, I do not put the same value on you as Ian Rappaport, lead NFL network insider that was able to summon NFL security to the Indianapolis JW Marriott Starbucks because Jordan Schultz yelled at him at the combine.
Potato, tomato. Terry McLaurin's entering the final year of his deal with the Commanders, a cap hit of $25.5 million. They brought in Deebo Samuel, paid him a one-year deal, just over about $17.5 million on a one-year deal for this year with Washington. But Scary Terry wants a new contract.
Yeah, well, why would you? If you're Terry and his representation, I think he has the same agent as AJ. I think it's Tory Dandy at CAA.
He'll be just 30 in September.
Just an absolute shark. If you're Terry and you're finally playing good football, you absolutely try and leverage your situation. Go get that bag.
Wrong about his agent.
It's not Tory Dandy?
Buddy Baker and Tony Bonagura.
Are they CAA?
Exclusive Sports Group.
Okay. 615-737-1045 is the number if you want to jump in. Jeff is in Clarksville next.
Hey, guys. This is actually Chuck.
Well done, Robert.
His middle name's Jeff.
Okay, very good.
Anyway, I was going to tell you, I refereed basketball for 20-something years and umpired baseball. And a lot of times when you talk about a quarterback's game slows down for him when he starts getting to play some, it's not so much it slows down as his peripheral vision opens up. If you'll notice, I'm sure Lucas knows this from soccer, you get, when you're first starting out, everything's tunnel vision. When you're a rookie, everything's tunnel vision. But then when your peripheral vision opens up, you see the man coming down the side, the wing coming down the side, or you see the receiver opening up over here while you're watching the receiver over there. So I think what he'll develop more of and get better at is his peripheral vision will open up, become wider, and not so much tunnel vision. And I guess what Will's biggest problem was is he got really tunnel visioned and not peripheral vision opened up.
Thanks for the call, Chuck.
It's a good call. And that's supposed to be a strength of Cam's, right? That feel in the pocket, at least the feel for defenders around him.
What makes Joe Burrow special?
That and a lot of other things.
Well, but that more than anything, I would argue. Joe Burrow does not have the strongest arm in the NFL. He's not the most physically, he's not Josh Allen, right? He's not a centaur running around and running through your face mask the way that, like, Derrick Henry can, right? He's not Patrick Mahomes with these spectacular arm angle throws and things like that, though Burrow does have, Burrow has talent. Nobody would mistake him for being pedestrian that way, but his innate ability to see things before they happen. It's almost like a level of football psychic that you could not recreate in a lab. And it's very unique to him. The hope is that if you, to steal that comment or that phrase from the chat earlier, master the mundane now, that Cam Ward by September is not having to think about it because it's routine, right? He's got the footwork down. He's got the 7-step drops, the 5-step drops, the 3-step drops down based on the play call. He understands the play. He knows where the receivers are supposed to be at any given point on the field so that his concentration can be spread a little more thin and that he can use some of that innate ability that we saw in college to navigate the pocket, to feel the defender coming off his blind side, and then to whip the ball to the spot that he knows the receiver is supposed to be, even if the receiver is still trailing or getting into his break by the time that Cam Ward lets that ball loose, which is a Tua skill, right? Tua is as good as a anticipatory thrower as we have in the NFL right now. Maybe not the best athlete, not the most physically gifted player, but Mike McDaniel has catered an offense so that Tua throws to a spot, the receiver will be there by the time you let it go, and the release is such that you don't need to lead the receiver that way because you know where he'll be by the time you let that ball go.
It's what's going to make that week 1 challenge so fascinating for Cam Ward with the stuff that Vance Joseph is going to be able to throw at him.
Throw him in a blender.
Yeah. And then just the talent on the other side of the ball. Pat Surtain, right? Like Johnny Barron still, like Cam Ward has a lot to prove. He's a rookie, but just loaded with talent and one of the best defensive coordinators in the game on the road. Again, you just couldn't script just a bigger challenge for Cam Ward to read and diagnose a defense during his introduction to the NFL.
I'm going to let Robert tease this next segment. What do we need to know about Derrick Henry's new motivation?
He has a new reason to rush for 2,000 yards next year that may land him in a feature film.
You did that so poorly. Two Rivers Ford is the South's most trusted Ford dealer. They've been the South's most trusted Ford dealer for over 4 decades. I know this because I've been a customer at Two Rivers Ford for damn near 10 years at this point in time. They go above and beyond for you as the customer to make the car buying process fast, easy, and more fun. And they will put you in a vehicle that fits your family's budget and your needs. And what they are offering you right now is employee pricing for everyone. You pay what they pay on almost every new Ford on the lot. That is the Two Rivers Ford promise. They have excellent financing as well. Their customer service cannot be beat. They win literal awards for how good their customer service is, and their non-commissioned sales team is not there to put any pressure on you throughout the car buying experience. They are just the best on every front humanly possible. So trust the best. Trust the South's most trusted Ford dealer. That's Two Rivers Ford in Mount Juliet or online at tworiversford.com. Welcome back to the show, fueled by Hattie B's Hot Chicken. So Robert Walsh enjoys gloating over Titans fans because he has Derrick Henry and you don't anymore, Nana Boo Boo. And one of the things that, because he's a Ravens fan, for those of you who are unfamiliar, I had some, I don't know, Bert, if you were paying attention at that point in prime time, the answer is probably no. But I had one person get on there and accost me for, I don't know, I was comparing the Titans to a construction site again or something like that, like an active construction site. And he said, well, what about your Colts? I'm like, I don't care about the Colts. The only time I've been to a Colts game that was not a Titans game was I went to a Ravens-Colts game in college.
What year?
Flacco was still the quarterback.
Okay. I'm going to find that game.
I would have been, it was at Indianapolis because I drove up. But
and your junior year of college was probably what, like 1994 or something?
I was 1 year old in 1994. My junior year of college would have been 2014, I believe.
Speaking of people that are younger than you would think, Lil Wayne. How old do you think Lil Wayne is?
40.
Who's dropping the Carter 6?
Correct.
Tomorrow?
He looks 40.
Okay. He's 42. You
would have had him older.
I had like 45. But Lil Wayne, been around. And the features on that album he's dropping tomorrow,
really?
Incredible.
Insane.
Yeah, but they have to be because he is.
Sure.
He is not.
He's got Miley Cyrus. What's the Andre?
Oh, Andrea Bocelli.
on the
Bocelli.
The first track.
The first track.
You know it's going to be hard.
One of the most legendary opera singers of all time. Bono is on there. Like Eminem, Playboy Cardi. It's just all over the place.
Red, like anybody you can think of. Yeah. Drake, the who's.
Yeah.
I'm ready to be hurt.
That's the thing.
Ready to be disappointed by the Carter 6.
He's doing a lot of collabs because I feel like he is a shell of himself at this point.
I'll still be there.
See, I would disagree. I think
as a performer, Robert,
after he got off of the lean and came back, I think he is back to the old Lil Wayne rapping.
Okay.
Because in the middle, when he would just put out like when he would take someone else's instrumental and then rap over it, they were the No Ceilings. Like the No Ceilings era of Lil Wayne was
Yeah.
But like recently, the new stuff he's put out, like the Last Carter with the Mona Lisa, the song with Kendrick Lamar, I enjoy Lil Wayne now more than I do the middle period.
I'm with that.
I just couldn't get over Andrea Bocelli on the first track.
I need to hear it.
It's crazy.
I need to hear it. You know it's going to be an all-time goosebump song. Like
when does it come out? It comes out Friday?
Tomorrow, yeah.
Yes, tomorrow.
All right, so there's probably not FCC safe Lil Wayne bumps.
Someone will have instrumentals out. Yeah. I'll do my best.
The Andrea Bocelli thing, I feel like we got to at least hit like
fascinated.
Yeah, like we got to at least hit a riff to come back from commercial break or something like that.
I hope he's just like, Little Wayne, he is the smallest Wayne.
Piccolo Wayne. That's the Lil Wayne in Italian. I want to hear that.
That would be excellent.
Yeah. Piccola Wayne.
So Derrick Henry. But anyway, my point with that was just to annoy Titans fans sometimes who will accuse me of being a Colts fan, even though I could not care less about an organization than the Indianapolis Colts. I think I might pivot to being a Ravens fan just to bother people. I think that might be my turn.
Did they win or lose that game you went to?
I believe they lost that game.
Yeah, we don't want you. Don't come back again. Thank you. Never come again.
What year was that? That was post Flacco Super Bowl.
Oh, I closed it out. I think it was 2013.
Okay. Anyway, so Derrick Henry is a Raven now, and Derrick Henry is still aspiring to have 2,000-yard seasons because the only person who could aspire to have 2,000-yard seasons at his age and his position is Derrick Henry.
He damn near did it last year.
I know it. And so with Derrick, he has found a new source of motivation to rush for 2,000 yards. Not like Derrick needs motivation, but what's the setup for this?
That's correct. Yeah, he was on the Dan Patrick Show yesterday, and Dan Patrick was wearing a Happy Gilmore hoodie, and it caught Derrick Henry's eye.
Appreciate it, Dan. Thank you for wearing that hoodie, man. Lime green brighten up my day. Appreciate it.
Well, this is Happy Gilmore 2. This is what Adam Sandler gave me.
Okay, that's one of my, Adam Sandler, my favorite actor, so that's what's up.
So that's the Happy Gilmore golf swing right there, that patch right there.
Hey, can you do me a favor?
Yeah.
If you ever see him again, tell him I'm a really big fan. I would really love to meet him one day.
Okay. You know what I'm going to do?
Yeah.
I'm going to text him today and ask if he'll send a video.
Please.
And then I'm going to send it to the Ravens.
Okay, cool. I'm a huge fan.
Okay. And if you get to 2,000 yards, I'll get you in a Sandler movie.
All right, cool. Say no more.
Is that all right?
Remember that now. You remember this? Remember that?
No. I'll take care of my end of it.
Okay.
I mean, mine's easy.
Yeah.
Yours is hard. You got to get 2,000 yards.
Say no more.
No pressure.
Bet is on. No pressure at all.
All right. Thank you, buddy.
All right, see y'all.
He sounded so happy.
Yeah.
I hate how much happier he sounds as a Raven than he ever did.
No, that's just your interviewing.
That's
That's your interviewing techniques. It turns out the best way to open up Derrick Henry at the podium when he was a Titans player would have been to ask him about Adam Sandler. Who knew?
Yeah, I'm sure he would have been real. You imagine Derrick. What are you talking about?
Just like his tone here.
Can you do me a favor?
Yeah.
Like, if Derrick Henry ever asks you, hey, can you do me a favor? Like, he doesn't have to ask any. Like, yes, I'll do whatever you want,
It's
Derrick.
also, Dan Patrick is just like the most welcoming interviewer that I think is out there.
Although, Hall of Fame name dropper Dan Patrick.
100%.
And has the Rolodex, earned it,
Oh, yeah.
is a name drop himself.
Yep.
So, but like, Dan Patrick's Rolodex is what I aspire to in life.
He is in Happy Gilmore too. Like he is.
Oh, he's in the first one,
plays
isn't
it. Yeah. So he plays himself again as an anchor.
Yeah.
In Happy, I can't wait for that to come out on Netflix. But who knew that Derrick Henry was a big Adam Sandler guy?
So we have a poll up today. If you can, if you want to
Do
vote
we?
on them, yeah, check it out on Buck Rising's Twitter at Buck Rising.
What did you tweet from my
If
account?
you were going to be in any actor or actress's movie, who would it be?
Ooh.
Or also, how could Adam Sandler utilize Derrick Henry in a movie? I'm fascinated at that.
Oh, they would be playing
yeah.
like flag football, like
Yeah.
Grown Ups 4 or something,
and he's just trucking them.
They show up with Chris Rock and Kevin James, and Derrick Henry's got a team on the other side. It's like the Monstars versus the Toon Squad. And,
right.
And what's the name of that movie?
Space Jam.
Space Jam.
What is that movie with the bear?
Relax.
That the shirt only covers half of his belly. Winnie the Pooh? You don't know Winnie the Pooh? So who would it be for you guys?
That's your version of me.
No, I would literally be Winnie the Pooh.
No, I like do my voice again.
Do your voice?
Yeah, do your impression of me again.
Hold on, I have to seep into utter narcissism. Yes, who is that bear that loves honey with a half a shirt? Who is that in my yard? Get that bear out of here, Christopher Robin. You know he's not allowed. That's my voice for you.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I think you just liked it because you sounded regal. Answer my question: Who, director, actor, actress? Who would you want to be in a movie with?
Lucas, go.
Spin the wheel.
Oh, no, damn it!
Spin the wheel.
I don't want to do the wheel every time we have a question.
Anytime.
What?
Oh man,
What is that?
That was happens to everybody once in a while. Hold on.
It's a premature wheel.
Oh, it's gonna land on it! Yeah!
Who did it land on?
No, it's your turn.
Adam Sandler.
You guys are terrible.
I'm panicked. Oh, Andy Samberg. Lonely Island.
Yeah, that was such a layup for you. You won't shut up about Lonely Island stuff after
Big
that.
Lonely Island fan.
Robert?
If it's a director, I would want to do Quentin Tarantino. The movies are just always so cool.
You're going to be viciously brutalized by a pit bull or
Yep,
something?
I would allow that. Pay me my money. And if it's not, I would want to do John Malkovich. Because he would lambaste me.
Malkovich is a good one.
You stupid. He'd just like rip you. I would love that.
Oh, see, I hate that you took Malkovich because have you ever seen the movie Red?
Oh, yeah.
It's a really good Bruce Willis not doing very well, right? He's dealing with some medical stuff.
I believe that's correct.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
unfortunate.
It is very unfortunate.
You would be a good Stallone double. Like any movie where Stallone has to like
Stallone now?
Yeah, oh yeah.
He looks like a mutant because of all the steroids.
Okay,
That's
you could be
not very
Sylvester's-
nice.
You could be Sylvester Stallone's son then.
Okay, I take that. He's like 5'2" though. I have a full foot on Sly.
A little tease on the way out. There is a quarterback entrenched in a quarterback battle who is not going to be at minicamp.
Find out next.
It is 12:01. Good afternoon from the 104.5 The Zone studios. I'm Lucas Panzica. In NFL news today, Colts quarterback Anthony Richardson reportedly is dealing with a shoulder injury and will not participate in minicamp next week as he heads into a battle for the starting job with former Giants QB Daniel Jones. Also, the Baltimore Ravens have signed wide receiver Rashad Bateman to a 3-year deal worth over $36 million, an extension that includes $20 million in guaranteed money for the former first-round pick. NBA Finals get underway tonight in Oklahoma City. It's Game 1 between Thunder and Pacers. Both teams looking to win their first-ever NBA title. Tip-off is at 7:30. Also happening in Oklahoma City, Game 2 of the Women's College World Series. Tonight at 7, Texas versus Texas Tech. Texas with a 1-0 series lead after a 2-1 victory last night. For all your foundation repairs and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
It's the final hour already. Show's moving fast. We're having a good time. We're happy to have you be a part of it. 615-737-1045 is how you jump in via the phones. Robert Walsh is getting dragged across the surface of the sun in the F&M Bank chat where you can live stream the show, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch for not the fact that he stole Derrick Henry from the Titans to his beloved Ravens, not because, any of the sports things that he said today, but because of your Lil Wayne opinions.
I don't understand why it's that blasphemous of a take to say, after the Carter 4, anything after the Carter 4 was subpar to the standard that Lil Wayne set. I said no ceilings, but that was during the Carter sagas, so maybe that's what everybody's upset about. Not saying that Lil Wayne was bad. I'm just saying inside that period, anything after the Carter 4 for Lil Wayne until, I don't know, Carter 5, everything in between that is pretty bad. I don't think that's a blasphemous take. I like Lil Wayne. I just don't like the middle crap.
My favorite version of Lil Wayne is not even like the albums. It's like the mixtape stuff that you would have to download off Spotify and wreck your parents' computers.
Frostwire, LimeWire.
The amount of times my dad would open the computer to see a video of a bulldog riding a skateboard from some virus I gave it.
He was opening up and finding that was the video?
Yeah, nothing nefarious.
Okay, well, just double checking. It takes me back to a time where everybody drove their parents beat up Honda Accords and we all had lanyards with our keys around them and things like that. It's just
the good old days.
The good old days.
See, you're older than us. So for me, Lil Wayne, listening to those albums was on the school bus headed to school at the age of 14 in my checkered cargo pants.
2 years younger than me. He's a month younger than me.
Well, 14 minus or plus 2 is 16, which is the driving age. So good job by you. But wearing my checkered cargo pants, listening to Blunt Blowing on a yellow school bus.
Lucas is I have my polo draw showing.
That's my memory of Lil
Blunt
Wayne.
Blowing. You have never been more Caucasian in your entire life.
Yes, I have. When I was 14, listening to Lil Wayne on the school bus. I promise you I have.
Of him, the spelling bee picture of him.
He's got his hood up.
Rapping along to Lil Wayne.
I'm talking cargo shorts down by the knees, man.
What a time. We should have to post old pictures of the three of us.
I don't think so.
The pictures of us riding zebras down Broadway yesterday, courtesy of ChatGPT. We will post our shame. I promise you, I've got it worse than you. You know how fat I was in grade school? The glow up, the narcissist that you see before you now, built on deep high school insecurity.
See, that's what I'm trying to get to, man. I'm trying to get that money you got so I can maybe afford Ozempic. I want a cheat cut. I want the Botox. I want them to take this stuff under my chin off. I want the Tom Brady treatment. Just go ahead and make me pretty as hell. Make sure me walk in the door and have Cheyenne like the wolf where her tongue unrolls all the way to the ground. That's what I'm looking for.
Eyes popping out of the skull. You're not ugly. You're just poor.
It's unfortunate. It's so unfortunate. Some people have all the luck.
It's all right, baby. We'll get you there one day. 615-737-1045 is the number if you want to jump in. We're going to talk more Cam Ward here in just a second, and Tavondre Sweat, as a matter of fact. We've got some Ridley audio for you. And you'll hear from the likely QB1. I don't think anybody but the Titans is still dragging us along for this Will Levis, Cam Ward quarterback competition, but you'll hear from Cam Ward as well momentarily. Let's go to Bam up next.
What up, homie?
What you got?
I think you and Will Ferrell would do great in a movie like The Campaign 2 or Semi-Pro. I think you would be a perfect candidate for a Will Ferrell movie.
Well, that's because Will Ferrell could do his thing, and I would be the annoyed straight man, and that would be that's like, you ever seen the? Thanks for the call, Bam. I appreciate it.
That's generally how I describe you, the annoying straight man.
Yes, I understand that. Annoyed, not annoying.
Oh, that's my fault.
Oh. Freudian slip?
Yeah. I could see you over there. It would be Will Ferrell and what's my other dude? It's a mess. You better grab your
Zach Galifianakis.
Zach Galifianakis? Like, you would be a politician.
How did you get Zach Galifianakis from him lisping his way through an impression?
From the movie The Campaign, you idiot.
You've never seen that?
That's the quote from the movie.
His two pugs.
No.
And one of them will say, get out from underneath that couch right now. Get out from underneath there. You ain't never seen The Campaign?
No.
That's actually an excellent impression of Zach Galifianakis' character from that movie. That's really good.
Buck tells me the only impression I do well is the one I leave in the seat when I get up.
That's true. That Ozempic will help with that.
Well,
God, give me some money.
Daniel Jones trying to leave an impression on the Colts coaching staff because Anthony Richardson is not participating in minicamp with the shoulder injury.
Is there okay, so we talk about the most pre-fired coaches in the NFL heading into the 2025 season. Is there a more pre-cooked quarterback than Anthony Richardson? Because that's Daniel Jones's job, right? I mean, we don't even have to get to training camp to understand that they have hedged their bets against the failed Anthony Richardson experiment, the 4th overall pick, because, oh my God, he can run fast and jump high and whip a ball 90 yards down the field. But can he throw it accurately? And can he play within structure? And can he get the right footwork? And will he not quit on your team on 3rd down because he's tired?
Well, I did this with Traylon Burks. So let me see if Robert can dig up a deep cut NFL player to throw in my face. Because I mentioned, we're talking about Traylon Burks. You were at, I guess it was OTAs, and Burks was a topic. Brian Callahan had talked about it
on Tuesday,
and
because he was asked about Traylon looking
a couple of weeks ago. I don't know, but I asked, okay, when's the last time that a 1st round pick at wide receiver, 3 years into his career, this was the sample size, right? Little to no production, no consistency, and availability being a massive issue, and ended up being somebody that ended up being that value of a 1st round pick that you want. Robert immediately. Who did you tell me?
Was it Jimmy Smith?
Jimmy Smith from the Jags,
oh, wow.
It was an insane pull from drafted in 92, first 3 years. I mean, the same thing. Missed an entire year to injury, little to no production, and then he took off. I don't know how many straight 1,000-yard seasons he had after that. So I'm creeping up to the line here to ask, when's the last time that a top 5 pick at quarterback had the start to his career that Anthony Richardson has had, just marred by inconsistency, just a guy who doesn't look ready to play at this level, and injuries on top of that have plagued him for the first, now we're on 2 years going into year 3 of his career, that ended up clicking in that year 3, year 4, and giving you what you want to have out of a top 5 pick.
That's a tough.
I'm saying that with an open mind because I was very dismissive with the Burks thing, and Burt just goes, Jimmy Smith.
Oh, I mean,
and that's the only one, and that's from the 90s, but still.
When you're talking about late bloomer quarterbacks that aren't the crop that we're talking about now, the Sam Darnolds, the Geno Smiths, all those cats. Everybody likes to throw Rich Gannon out because Rich Gannon played in some games his first 3 seasons and wasn't spectacular when he did get to play his 4th season. But I guess the closest that would come to what you're saying is Trent Dilfer, even though he played early in his career.
And he wasn't a top 5 pick.
He was 6th. I believe.
Dilfer was
he really?
The 6th overall pick?
I believe so. 1994 draft. He was the 1st round 6th pick.
That's crazy.
I didn't know that.
Good for Trent. I struggle to come up with an example because that's a very specific set of circumstances, right? Little to no collegiate production or starts. Oft injured because of the way that he plays. Frankly, I think mishandled in the way that they kind of started and stopped and started again with okay, we'll try this, but then Flacco and then back to Richardson and then Richardson again or Minshew or all the different things. And I know he got hurt in his rookie season against the Titans. He had that shoulder injury because he flew out of bounds and landed. I think he dislocated it. I can't remember exactly.
Quarterback's also tough because there's one for every team. Wide receiver, you could argue there's 3 guys that are going to see a lot of.
Good on the chat. Trey Lance.
No, that's not a good example.
Yeah, but he never succeeded.
He hasn't panned
He's
out.
looking for someone who had success under these circumstances.
Oh, okay. But like I'm sorry, I was just looking for even a remotely similar situation, and Trey Lance would be it.
Yeah, Doug Falling says jury's still out on Lance. I don't know, man. I mean,
no,
Isn't he in the Canadian League? Isn't he in
Is he?
UFL? He was like a first-round draft pick for one of these like underling leagues.
I don't know. I haven't.
He's a Charger.
Okay.
Oh, he got drafted by one of those teams. He might as well
Just
go
in
play.
case.
He's not going to get to play. Like,
Who's the Chargers backup? Who else is
It wasn't Easton Stick.
Easton Stick for a long time, but I don't know if he's still.
We all at one time were like, Easton Stick.
It's a great name.
Anybody else want to say random football player names?
I can do it all day, baby. He's a Falcon.
Easton Stick?
Stick is a Falcon.
Stick is a Falcon. Oh. No, but RG3 was
Rookie of the year.
Yeah.
He was super. He was
If anything, he
25th on your
declined.
list of most passing yards for a rookie.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
No, if anything, he declined from there and the injuries piled up.
No, Haloti Nada landed on his knee. I very much remember that play, and then he was never the same.
Cross body, and his leg like hit his body and bent
Like Nada,
flamingo
who was 340 pounds. I remember watching this play, was like flying around the corner of a guard or the inside of a tackle or something like that, and whipped at 340 pounds his full body into the back of RG3's leg. It was as nasty a knee injury as I can remember seeing.
And that game is when the legend of Kirk Cousins began, because Kirk Cousins came in and beat the Ravens in overtime that game.
And I also mean with the franchise that drafted him, right? Like starting his career like this, injuries,
It sounds like there's
inconsistency.
never been a look at him. How many more qualifiers is he going to put on this?
I'm also talking about a quarterback who was from the Southeastern Conference.
Initials AR, 20 years old when he was drafted. Like, you just can't, those guys don't find success.
Yeah, that one.
No. It's not over with Anthony Richardson, but it's just hard to see a path forward here.
Who's it more over for, Levis or Richardson?
And are you talking about generally or in their respective franchise?
Generally.
Because I was going to say, with their respective franchise, obviously Levis.
Levis could stick around for years.
Yeah.
Like but also I think people
As a
could,
what?
Like as a backup? As a backup. Desmond Ritter had a job for years.
Yeah,
like,
Kyle Trask is still a backup.
Kyle Trask got re-signed.
All right, listen to me. Those two never had as bad of public moments in critical decision-making moments as Will Levis has had. The thing that you have to emphasize the most, trust for a quarterback. I don't know that anybody has done more damage to their reputation as far as you can trust that person to get you through a couple of games. If you need 4 games without your starter and you got to go 2-2, Will Levis is the answer.
Nathan Peterman kept getting jobs.
The Peterman is a good example. Okay, the Peterman is a good example.
Daryl in the Burrow says Alex Smith is not a bad number 1 overall pick, and probably the best years of his career came in. Kansas City. But
he was regularly getting the Chiefs to the playoffs, and I know he didn't do it for the franchise. I mean, he got the Niners.
No, he didn't play terrible football for the Niners, but it wasn't what you wanted out of a number 1 pick.
No, and then Kaepernick came in. They didn't quite revolutionize the sport with Cap's ability to move that way, but he was definitely more. Alex Smith wasn't a statue back there, but Kaepernick was a completely different kind of dynamic athlete.
I've never seen Anthony Richardson do it for a whole season. Right?
No.
I've seen him like in college. Hell, I remember the game he played against Tennessee, that 2022 game. Tennessee won, but he was phenomenal. But you only ever saw it in spurts and flashes. Even Levis had more of a complete season than Richardson did in that 2021 season in the case of Levis. I've just never seen him do it for a whole year. So I'm very skeptical that it's just going to click at some point in the NFL. I know it's all there, all the talent.
So
like he was made in the lab.
Based on the 7,000 parameters that Lucas set for this exercise, Alex Smith is the one to have success in that situation.
Yeah, he has to have a 5 in the number, too. It can be 5 or 15, but there has to be a 5.
All right. Well, neither Cam Ward nor Calvin Ridley have a 5 or a 15 in their number, but they are critically important to the Titans' success. And you will hear from both of those individuals coming up next. Welcome back to the show. Fueled by Hattie B's Hot Chicken. 615-737-1045, the number. Get to your phone calls here in just a second. The Cam Ward, Calvin Ridley connection. It's obviously something that's going to have a ton of scrutiny on it because, hell, it had scrutiny on it last year. Why can't Will Levis and Calvin Ridley figure out the deep ball connection throughout training camp? It was a big talking point. The Titans talked about it. They answered questions about it. There were moments when it looked like Levis and Ridley had something figured out. Speaking of the Chargers, we were talking about Chargers, is it Chargers legend, Easton Stick? The backup quarterback there. But that Chargers-Titans game in L.A. last year, that was evidence that Calvin Ridley and Will Levis might be working towards something good as far as the deep ball connection, and then it kind of fizzled. There were moments that made you at least continue to be interested or continue to be curious, but it never really manifested into anything consistent.
By the way, just to put a bow on the Anthony Richardson injury stuff, Shane Steichen says that a procedure is not anticipated and he should be back at some point in training camp.
Cooked.
In training camp.
Yeah.
At some point. So he'll be ready for camp. He'll be good to go. Just a little thing, little tweak. No, at some point in training camp, he'll be back.
Do you think that's just convenient for them to be like, maybe we give Daniel Jones more of the first team reps out of the gate? And Anthony just happens to have this mysterious nebulous shoulder situation that, did he get hurt last year?
Richardson?
Yeah. Where would the shoulder of injury?
He dealt with something last year.
This is the same shoulder that he hurt in 23 that eventually required surgery.
Careful alleging that it's fake. He might get on a stage at a megachurch and call you out, like Derek Carr.
Yeah, see, now I'm covered. Reckless speculation sound.
No, you're not important enough for that to happen either. Did you see Derek Carr?
I don't know. Derek Carr, Derek really didn't give Diana the name drop. He just said some lady with a podcast.
He told Front Office Sports that surgery was considered as an option, but he said that didn't feel right. He said that part was tough because I didn't want to have surgery and just sit there and just take the Saints' money. Bit of a martyr, Derek Carr. Said I wouldn't have been able to play.
You know what? I don't doubt that he's genuine when he says things. I just find him to be a bit of a cornball, if that's fair. I think both things can be so. You can be genuine in what you say and the way that you say it and decide to take an opportunity when you're speaking in front of your hometown church to take a run at Diana Rossini and ESPN for reporting things about your shoulder that were true.
He did kind of bail out the Saints a little bit with that.
Oh, no, for sure he did. But, Derek Carr, he's just an easy person to kind of be like, corny. Anyway, Calvin Ridley, Cam Ward. I mentioned yesterday, or I guess Tuesday, whenever I was talking to you guys on the phone from OTAs, just how good it was, or maybe yesterday when we came back from practice, just how good it is to see Calvin Ridley and Tony Pollard looking not miserable and crisp and healthy and refreshed by the new circumstances, flush last season down the toilet because it was in the toilet basically in October and everything else was just a misery afterwards. And those two dudes were still producing, but the team wasn't winning. And it was difficult, especially given that they had both just joined the Tennessee Titans as first-year players there in free agency, and that they were doing their jobs, but precious few other people were, or at least successfully able to do their jobs. So Cam Ward and Calvin Ridley is obviously something that's going to give the rookie quarterback the best chance of success, because Calvin Ridley, whether you consider him to be a bona fide wide receiver one in the scope of the league, or you're talking about Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson, whatever, maybe he's not those guys, but he's this team's wide receiver one, indisputably. So let's start with, who do you want to start with, Cam or Ridley? Which is there one that sets the other one up better, or do you want to just
that wheel?
No, damn it, I don't want to do the wheel again. Enough of the wheel.
Cam Ward it is.
Let me hear from Cam Ward on Calvin Ridley.
That man a dog. He can win versus press man. He knows zone. I think he's one of the top 5 receivers in the NFL, if not the best. And so I'm blessed to play with him. He's going to make me look good. Every chance, I get a chance to throw the ball to him. But he's somebody who's coachable. He's a team guy. And, he's the right person to lead that room.
Anything specific he's done out here that you have gone, wow, that's a pro right there?
Me a catch for him.
Yeah.
I threw him a little back shoulder. He one-hand snagged it. But, he used to doing that. But the way he grabbed it, it was clean. But, that guy, he's the ultimate competitor. I think the biggest thing that he don't get, heard for is how communicative he is, with myself, with the other quarterbacks. And I just think that, he's going to be a reason why, we're going to try to be one of the best offenses this year.
That's Cam Ward talking about Calvin Ridley. Before we hear about Calvin Ridley talking about Cam Ward, let me remind you that the U.S. men's national team is headed to Nashville Tuesday night to take on Switzerland in an international friendly, but it's more than a match. It's a countdown to history with the World Cup a year away. This is the Coca-Cola send-off match before the U.S. has their final test ahead of the World Cup, the Gold Cup, coming up later this summer, taking on the other countries in North America to compete for a trophy. Tickets start at just $35 for that game Tuesday night against Switzerland. 7 p.m. is the kickoff. We'll have the broadcast, the Westwood One broadcast here on The Zone. I'm on the call. Looking forward to it, but you got to get in the building. So go to 1045thezone.com for tickets today.
All right, spin that wheel again. No, I'm just kidding. We don't have to.
Here's Calvin Ridley. Play it.
Calvin Ridley it is?
Nah, man, it's just more of getting on the same page. I honestly want to hear what he thinks, but I just want to be in a spot where he will meet. So I asked him first, what did I do wrong on the play, no matter the throw or the catch or whatever it is? What do I need to do to make you feel better? And then I try to pick his brain of what do I need to do to make you feel better? So that's pretty much what we're doing. Like I said, it's easy to relate to him. For me, just easy to relate to, fun, easy to talk ball with.
So Calvin Ridley went on at some length. There was many more expletives in Calvin's media availability than we are.
Featuring jugs and wind.
Yeah, it's always good to have Twitter audio. But what?
Nothing.
You have thoughts?
No, I didn't have anything to say about him.
Are you sure you opened up your microphone?
No, I didn't.
Should we spin the wheel to see what thought it lands on?
You are going to abuse this?
They're going to take it off the board at some point. Oh, it landed on I don't have to have an opinion.
I thought you were going to say I'm hungry or something. Ron Slay's in the chat asking for the wheel, and Ron Slay gets what he asks for.
Anyway, as far as what we're looking for, last year there was a hyper focus on deep ball connection because we know Will Levis has arm strength, and we know Calvin Ridley is faster than every other wide receiver, at least on the Titans roster at this stage of his career. It is curious to me how they're going to integrate the young guys, which is something that I asked Brian Callahan about in his Tuesday press conference, based on, it's not like you wouldn't consider wide receivers in the NFL to be positionless, right? There are guys who are definitively an X. There are guys who are definitively a Z. There are guys who are definitively a slot. Now, if you can find a player, Julio Jones is the highest caliber version example of this, where Julio is running routes that somebody that size should not be able to run. He's got such, what's the word I'm looking for? Such precision.
A precision and a fluidity about him that just, it almost looked like an optical illusion.
Yeah.
Like, how can somebody
that big
run that way?
Or turn on a dime or stop so quickly? Like, when I would watch Julio that one fateful year, Titans legend Julio Jones, when I would watch Julio, and he was 32, I think, when he signed here, like just going through ladder drills, I'm like, you are destroying the ground underneath you with how quickly and how hard you are coming down in your steps. No wonder your hamstrings are exploding on every given play, because your body is aging. Your abilities are still there, but your body is not able to keep up with the physical things that you've been able to do your entire career, because father time comes for us all, is the cliche. Chimere Dike is now the guy that I look at as being able to be the deep threat. And even if he's not the deep threat, then you at least can maneuver the secondary based on Chimere Dike running, the 9 route or whatever, to take the top off the defense, or at least to draw attention to a different part of the field and make Calvin more of a chess piece. I think Calvin Ridley can play all three positions. I think they're comfortable with him playing all three positions. My question is, all right, where is Iamaner in all of this? If he's going to get, I don't know which of the rookies is going to get the bulk of the reps between them, whether it's Chimere Dike, who was drafted first in the 4th round, and then later in the 4th round, they added Iamaner out of Stanford. I don't know where Tyler Lockett should be the most locked-in slot player, but is he going to be exclusively a slot player? Probably at this point in his career. Does that mean that are there going to be ways to get multiple different players in multiple different positions? How they're figuring out the deployment of these wide receivers is what OTAs and training camp are for, right? You have to figure out, okay, what is one thing that made Nick Westbrook-Akina a plus?
Dependability.
Well, dependability, and he knew all three. So if your slot guy went down, NWI could go play the slot. If your X went down, he can go be your backup X. And he can, he knows all three positions within their offense. So maybe he's not plug and play necessarily, but he's as close to plug and play as a depth wide receiver is going to be. I don't know if Chimere Dike or Alec Iamaner is going to be capable of playing all three positions within this offense. So how much more versatility they can get out of Calvin based on the other two's development and Lockett's role in this offense. And then you get into Van Jefferson and I don't know, is James Prochet to be considered legitimately in the wide receiver conversation? I don't think so.
I mean, the only way he makes this team is as a returner. Right. I mean, that's his path to making this roster.
Bryce Oliver is out there, too. Yeah, now you're talking about Xavier Restrepo. Like, they have options, which is more than you can say about their last couple of years.
I was going to say, sounded like Restrepo got a lot of run the other day.
And the one that we're not talking about, of course, is the former first-round pick who is coming off an ACL repair but has done absolutely nothing in his professional career to make you consider him viable, which is Treylon Burks. The most Treylon Burks discussion that's been had is his weight. Again, we're talking about his weight because he's a big body guy anyway, and he's coming off an ACL surgery, so he's trying not to be too critical of his physical condition right now, but he looks physically different than you would expect a professional wide receiver to look. If that's as diplomatically as I can talk about his weight. I don't know what he weighs right now, but whatever.
Yeah, I mean, the special teams element of the bottom part of the wide receiver room is going to play a role. Like, that's Jaquan Jackson's best chance to get on this roster. It's James Prochet's best chance to get on this roster.
Jackson has a chance to get on this roster.
Sure, but he's back there, right? He's fielding punts. I mean, I don't know if you paid any attention to the fielding punts and kicks portion of OTAs.
Really not. If I'm being completely honest with you, I haven't gone over to the special. There's just so many different things for us to try and watch right now, and I feel like they cut down the open sessions during practice more and more each week. So I couldn't name you every player who's been back there fielding punts and kicks on special teams right now. Like I said, they have options. Better to have more than less. I just want to know how much versatility does this current collection, because nobody's going to fool themselves into thinking that Xavier Restrepo is going to play on the outside, right? Like, that guy's here to play slot.
Yeah, I would think so.
Whatever he might have been in college.
Which I think could give him there's a path to him making this team if he has a good preseason. A very clear path.
Joe on YouTube talking about Jaquan Jackson's chance to make the roster. He has a rookie contract. Yeah, but it's a rookie contract for a 6th-round pick. That's pace.
Yeah, he also says long shot. He said that I think he's saying like that's the only thing that he has in his corner at the moment.
And you can always add these guys to the practice squad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then if they make it all the way through the year, they're back on your training camp roster.
Don't you threaten Mason Kinsey that way.
I mean, that's where he's made his livelihood.
He literally, I walked out there for, what was that? Was that this week or last week? Either way, Tuesday at OTAs. And I swear to God, he does it just, he's a funny guy. And you know what, to his credit, he has been on an NFL roster in some form or fashion for coming up on 5 years as a D3 wide receiver out of Berry College. And I have tremendous amount of respect for that. But he came up to me just to make sure, hey, I'm still here. Still here, just so you know. Because you don't think about Mason Kinsey, but he's just there. He's the cockroach of the roster.
I'd be taking that food home and putting it in the freezer, buddy. Saving some of it. Hey, y'all got any more of them socks? Let me get some of them Titan socks.
Team issue slides.
Yeah, come on, man. Let me get some for y'all. Kick me out of here. Y'all done brought in the new and improved me. Come on.
He's Xavier Restrepo is who Titans fans think Mason Kinsey is.
Joe says Kinsey is living the dream. Be real. He is.
Well, he is now that he's hit the NFL pension. Because for a while there, that's what those guys, especially fringe roster guys, they're trying to make sure that they can cash in post-career, and he's played enough accrued games to be able to hit the NFL's pension. So that is a huge deal for him, and now he can breathe a little easier.
All that dude has done as a D3 product is scratch, claw, and stick around. So, yeah, any consternation towards Mason Kinsey, I do not understand.
Oh, no.
Do not understand.
But if you are being realistic, you are looking for a reason to get rid of the Mason Kinseys of the world, right? It's not just Mason Kinsey. It's these fringe roster guys who the Titans have had as depth pieces who just clearly aren't good enough. And I know that there's a lot of NFL, like you can't have a perfectly built NFL roster and top to bottom talent the way that you might be able to stack 5 stars in maybe you can't even do that in college football anymore given the transfer portal and NIL stuff. But you can't ever stack a position in the NFL. You're going to have some weaknesses. But you're just trying to, what have we talked about all offseason long? Like specific to this draft class. How much immediate impact are these guys going to be able to make? I have no earthly idea. But do they raise the floor of a bad roster so that you just incrementally get better year over year as these guys progress and develop? That's what you're trying to do. Mason Kinsey being the floor recently makes you want to raise the floor with Xavier Restrepos of the world.
Yeah, and they're going to have every opportunity to make an impact. Like there's a path for all of these rookie receivers to get significant run in the Titans offense in 2025. Like all of them, from Restrepo to the 2 draft picks. Are there... I can't remember. I mean, it's been a while since we saw that total list of UDFAs. Are there any other UDFA receivers? I know that they're UDFAs of the past, like Bryce Oliver's still
82.
there.
What's 82's name? I'll figure it out.
Tay Martin still
Tay Martin
around?
got waived.
Okay.
TJ Sheffield.
Oh,
yeah, local guy, independent.
TJ Sheffield, yes. But was he a rookie or is he just a journeyman?
He's a rookie.
Okay.
He's a rookie. He went to Purdue and then UConn, spent last year at UConn.
Last call for phone calls if you got them. 615-737-1045 is the number. We'll do that. We'll update the polls. We'll wrap up the show. I'm Buck Rising. It's 1045 The Zone. The Tennessee Men's Clinic has been helping guys for over a decade, and they can help you too. If you're somebody who's noticed just a lack of energy, your performance may be suffering, and you may just chalk those things up to age, but it doesn't have to be inevitable. Solutions do exist, and they exist at the Tennessee Men's Clinic. There's no guesswork. They just make it happen. Real science, real treatments, no gimmicks, no online quick fixes that just leave you frustrated. Online pills are too expensive and generic to just not work. At the Tennessee Men's Clinic, their medical providers build a plan around you, your body, your goals, and what it takes to get you feeling like yourself again, whether it's testosterone, ED treatments, and a lot of things that guys don't even know exist. The Tennessee Men's Clinic is there to help you. It is incredibly cost-effective. Your consultation, including blood work, is just $99, and they will find a plan that works with your budget. So don't procrastinate. Call them right now and get it done. The Tennessee Men's Clinic online at TennesseeMen'sClinic.com for more information, or call them 615-208-9090. Introducing our new partner, Premier Generators, now in Nashville, the largest certified Generac dealer in Tennessee. When power outages strike, protect your family with a top-tier generator, expertly installed by local specialists. Premier Generators dedicates itself solely to generators, offering unmatched expertise. Plus, you can enjoy the peace of mind with an extended 10-year warranty. Don't wait for the next storm. Schedule your consultation today, because that's something that they run into quite often. Talking to the fine folks at Premier Generators yesterday, people think that they can just call the day before a storm or things like that and say, can you install a generator at my home? There's so many different things that you have to make sure that you have in line before you can actually get this process underway. So it's important for you to be proactive and not reactive when it comes to making sure that you don't lose power at the most critical moments. I myself can speak to this on personal experience. When that tornado hit us in 2020 over in the Germantown, North Nashville area where I'm at, we were without power for 6 days. And what I wish I would have been smart enough to, or what I wish I would have been smart enough at the time to realize that it was so important to have a generator at my home. And since then, we've been able to get that done ahead of schedule. PremierGenerators.com is where you go, or you can call them at 615-439-2992. Be prepared and choose Premier Generators for reliable power solutions. Welcome back to the show. We are fueled by Hattie B's Hot Chicken. Last segment of the day. Now, what you do not know is that we have had somebody in here shadowing us, and that Kate has been doing this she's had a more well-rounded media experience prior to her sophomore year of college than I think I ever have in my life. And I'm around these people every day in some form or fashion. So she's going to give us some feedback on her experience with us, because God knows why she sat in here for the entire 3 hours, but she did so. And I'm sure she'll have some notes on what we did well and what we did poorly, because we told her as soon as she or at least as soon as we found out she was going to spend the day with us, that this is how you learn not to do radio. And I think we've very much upheld our reputation to that effect. 615-737-1045 is the number if you want to jump in the meantime. Last call for phone calls. We got about 5 more minutes. If you don't get in with us, you can do so with Blaine and Zach. Coming up next, of course, 3HL later this afternoon. All right, Kate, hit the on button.
Lay it on us.
Give us the feedback.
I thought it was great. It was amazing.
Amazing.
It was. I think that the chemistry.
We said that we were going to call out when people are lying on the show. Lie!
Cap. For the kids' day, right?
No, don't do that. Especially
Kate can be our representative for
You're being so chuggy, dude.
I'm just here to keep y'all young. Here to keep y'all young,
Are people still saying that?
No, yeah.
Oh, nice.
No, yeah.
Chuggy?
Got the green light.
No, I mean, yeah. It's coming back.
The only question I want to know is, who is your favorite?
You're so old that you're using things that have been old and have become new again.
Oh, chuggy is having to come back.
That's what you just
said.
said.
It's making a comeback.
Oh, my God. That's crazy. What did you say, Robert?
I need to know who is your least favorite and who is your favorite out of this show?
On just the show.
And you can include Ross if you would like a scapegoat.
I think y'all are all great.
No.
You can rip us, Kate.
We
will peer pressure you until we get an answer. That's how this works.
I think I like Buck's attitude. I have to say it.
All right.
I think I love it. I really do.
Been a lot of fun. Appreciate it. We're going to be back tomorrow.
Turn that music down. She's not done saying nice things about me yet. No. So I guess, what have you learned anything? Have we been able to bestow any actual useful information upon you today?
I mean, I've never seen the podcast, really radio side of things. And I mean, getting to sit in here and see how it works and how y'all kind of flow and how a show works. I mean, that's really great to take back to school.
You are an ascending sophomore at Ole Miss?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
How are you feeling about your football program at this particular point in time?
I feel pretty good. I mean, I would say we have a pretty good quarterback, and we just let go of a really good one. I mean, you can't complain.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say we're pretty good this year.
I think they feel pretty solid about Austin Simmons down there.
Yeah.
I enjoy Lane just as a character in the middle of all this, and I would like Lane Kiffin to win a national championship just so he can be maximum Lane as national championship coach. I just don't know how realistic that is.
Yeah, Lane has to be worshipped on campus there, right?
Oh, absolutely.
People gotta
I was
love
in
him.
a yoga class with him.
Oh, really?
He is so involved, student life.
Hot yoga or regular yoga?
Oh, hot yoga. Yeah.
What's the difference?
He's a frequent visitor.
One is
What's
very
the
hot.
difference?
Well, what's the point, I guess? What's the point of hot yoga versus what's the difference in effects?
Okay.
Like endurance, right? Like it's heart rate. Your heart rate is elevated in hot yoga versus regular yoga is just like stretching and pliability.
So I do circuit training at the gym that I go to. I do hot yoga, and they have different versions of hot yoga, because one of the listeners, Hadley, is a coach at Shakti. No free shout outs. And they have different versions. So you can do it the hot yoga that I'll do on Saturday is different than the hot yoga that I'll do on Tuesday, because they have different flows where you're just basically focusing on core and holding yourself up through the different positions while you're trying to seamlessly transition to another position. Whereas the Saturday one, they'll put you through calisthenics and stuff like that. But it is 103 degrees. That is the difference.
When I do my hot yoga, they put me right up in the front of the class. So I'll be doing sun salutation and downward dog and warrior salute.
They should put you in the very back, because God help the people that are behind you directly.
Well, they had an issue with the floor, and I was sweating so much that it was causing the floor to deteriorate. So they moved me to the front where the floor is
sliding.
Much better.
I'm telling you, nobody told me you had to bring a towel towel to put over your yoga mat the first time, there was a literal lake of sweat under me. It was foul.
Disgusting.
I literally had to like pick my mat up so that the pool would stay on the mat and not like schlep out onto the floor. It's so gross. So gross. But it's endurance. It's, pliability obviously is a huge thing. Hopkins talks about this, being at an advanced age, that hot yoga is a more effective way for him to get his cardio without, doing something to his hamstrings or something like that. You want to go to a class?
So, no.
I think y'all should join Lane.
Lane Kiffin doing hot yoga on campus.
I think y'all should. I think we can make that happen. We can set it up.
Yeah,
you got Paul?
I feel like I could figure out a way in class, maybe slip a little something in there. Yeah. Hey, Buck would love to take a hot yoga class with you.
Oh, not the other two. Just me.
No. We're just putting you with Lane.
We love that. We love that. All right, Kate has successfully figured out the right one to suck up to around. All right.
Big Boss Bert, I would disagree with you. Bert runs things around here, Kate.
Yeah,
I think you.
Yeah, Buck has no hiring power.
I forget you control the wheel back there.
There you go.
I know.
Speaking of,
no.
What are we going to play for the polls today? Oh, come on, Borat. Come on, Borat. Come on, Borat. Up. It's Borat.
Go. I bet Borat's too old for Kate to know the reference.
You know Borat? She knows Borat. Borat just transcends generations.
Yeah. My dad has educated me on that one enough.
Yeah. Presented by Two Rivers Ford, the South's most trusted Ford dealer. How do you define success for Cam Ward in his rookie year? Bucket says not being Will Levis bad. I feel like you should set the bar higher than that.
He can pass for 3,000 yards. He doesn't have to be an absolute catastrophe as far as turnovers, but he does have to show progress. He does have to show growth week to week. He does have to show fundamental technical improvement.
Yeah, Joel says he wants 6 to 7 wins and to not turn the ball over twice a game. And I mean, the replies are just all shots at Will Levis.
Yeah, that's about how it goes around here.
If you could be in a movie with any actor or actress, who would you choose? Float On says, I'd much rather discuss what Cam Ward ate for breakfast. I
hate you all.
Multiple submissions for Denzel Washington. Karen says Matthew McConaughey. Jack says LL Cool J.
No.
Which was out of left field.
No.
Tyler says Woody Harrelson. Oh, Brent says Tim Robinson, which is a great one. I need to watch that movie he did with Paul Rudd. Tim Robinson.
What is that, Best Friends?
Just Friends. It's just called Friends. Yeah. I heard it was fantastic.
I have no idea who that is.
Yeah, he's the
55 burgers, 55 fries, 55 tacos, 55 shakes.
Hot dog suit. We're all trying to find the guy who did this.
Something here.
For someone that spends as much time on the internet as you do.
I'm telling you.
Which Madden was this? The sketch show. I think you should leave.
C-SPAN, Buck doesn't know.
Which Madden?
I've got to watch my DVR 60 Minutes from Sunday.
Which Madden was your favorite? Kenneth says 2001, going way back, and multiple submissions for Madden 11.
Oh, I tried to watch that sketch show, this guy's sketch show on Netflix, and then I didn't get it.
Yeah, I could see you definitely just not getting
it. But you know what?
At all.
I'm willing to give it another chance because the first time I watched Step Brothers, I thought it was the dumbest thing in the world. I was like, why does anybody care about this?
It's my guilty pleasure movie.
Yeah, Buck famously does not know good comedy. Who you got in the NBA Finals? Thunder or Pacers? 70.7% of the audience are going with the favorites, the Oklahoma City Thunder.
I would too. I mean, I'd love to see the Pacers win. I think they're up against it, though. This OKC has just had such great defensive plans for Anthony Edwards and Nikola Jokic. And it's not like Ant is just choking, even though that's an easier talking point. Like, OKC did that to him, and that I think is going to happen to Halliburton too.
Yeah, they're just a better basketball team.
Yes. And they are literally the best basketball team.
What would be the NFL comparison in terms of market of Oklahoma City versus Indianapolis, essentially?
A text I got that I thought was appropriate and that the league would be pissed about is Tennessee versus Arizona in the Super Bowl.
I feel like it would be more Tennessee because Phoenix is a huge city. I know they're technically in Glendale, but Phoenix is massive. I'd go Tennessee.
Do they care about the Cardinals?
I don't know. I've never been to Phoenix. I
can't get Knoxville to care about the Titans.
Yeah. I'd go Titans-Panthers.
Titans-Panthers, worst case scenario.
For Roger Goodell?
For everybody. Nobody wants that. Get that off my screen.
Oh, you don't know your audience. Not surprising.
I do.
Those are the polls.
It just sounds like a lot of work. I'd like to go get drunk at the Super Bowl. That's going to do it for us today. We appreciate all of your guys' participation. Check out the podcast after the fact. There will be prime time tonight at 7 p.m. on A to Z Sports. I'll look forward to seeing you there.
Two Rivers Ford announces employee pricing for everyone. Every tradesman, every dad, every rising star. You pay what we pay. Two Rivers Ford. Locally owned. American made.